Can you guys hear
Put
me,
the
by
kids
the way?
in the microwave.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Don't forget to put your kids in the microwave.
Yeah, let's not do that.
That is just
I thought it was a pretty good
they,
idea.
they probably wouldn't fit, so.
Oh, like
Yeah,
an
you gotta put
infant
them in
would.
the oven.
Chips
I know.
incoming.
I mean, you don't want to break your microwave, man.
I don't know. I think an infant would work.
Sun chips.
But also considering how much shit you have in that fucking diaper, probably when you put it in there, it's gonna be a fucking shit time bomb.
You can put your cat in
Here's a
there.
question. Why the hell are sun chips called sun chips? They're like the dullest chips ever made.
What? Sun chips are
Because
awesome.
they got the
What are you
power.
talking about?
Different
Sun
taste.
chips are my
Okay, okay.
jam.
Sun chips are a gift from Paylor.
Damn straight.
I think that's the actual explanation.
Praise the sun chips.
I have the Veggie Harvest Farmhouse Ranch sub.
By the way,
chips
Dylan,
right
did
now.
you
I like
even
the garden
Yeah,
salsa
my-
one's really good.
Yeah, it's
Just
pretty
about
okay.
the name change?
the last name change, not
Yeah.
the first name, last name.
My only
Like,
complaint
why?
with
Why
sun
would you want
chips
to change it?
is
I think it's fine.
Well, if you think it's fine, but I just felt cringy.
Just check it a load roll 20 up.
Well, whatever. Now that that's out of the way, yay!
I have
Alright,
like 6 different D&D things open on my fucking computer.
Yay! So,
Oh shit.
while we wait, does anybody want to give a recap?
Not me, I already did
we
last
stop. Leah had a bit of a mental breakdown and shouted at a bunch of barrels. I remember that.
Oh,
Oh god.
right. Okay, so
In my defense, I couldn't hear the whole sentence, and from what I interpreted, there was a separate person like behind us throwing something
We
onto the
spent
barrel
like
next to
30
us.
minutes with you yelling at a barrel.
right. So let me just
accurate.
Pointing your rapier at it.
back up to the start of session 2. Okay. It basically came back. We were in deep, I guess, shit because we were carrying 2 corpses with us. One of them is the child. One of them is Alantar, who Ice plays. I'm not sure what he's gonna do today, but yeah. So basically, Martha broke the bad news to the mother. Go on. Describe how you did it. Because I can't remember the whole detail. Martha.
What?
Hey.
Damn it! How
What?
did you console the mother?
I patted her back and gave her some water. Gave her some sage advice.
Sage advice.
And then she sort of fucked off for 30 minutes to go do stuff.
Right. And then we have Mr. Throm finding his, I guess, quarry. Yes. Finding his quarry and basically gave the guy a very rough beating and possibly some sexy time at the room. What? This is what you did, isn't it? All we heard was a bit of a tumbling in the room. And the next morning, we went to the market, didn't we, to get some clothes, some new threads.
And that's around where we left off. You had just ordered your common clothing, and Martha had ordered the dress.
And we encountered Leah again after she went off in the morning to do some stuff. Martha tried to grab her, missed, and now with this. Yeah, and now with this, I think we're on our way to do the funeral service, isn't it? Which is during the noon.
Yeah, that's around where we are.
I have a quick question. What's the name of the continent in this game?
Nordvinden.
Nordvinden. Like Nord Vinden.
Vinden, yeah. Nordvinden.
I had to change my game to
Nordvinden.
degeneracy.
Vinden.
Yes.
I had to change the
Ben,
game I was playing on Discord real quick.
Yes.
Ding.
All right. So, just to, okay, so we had the scene where you talked to Titania as well.
Yeah, she's
there
being
was,
very playful about a certain object.
and there was also Leah. Leah had nightmares and she didn't have a very good rest, and she felt drained. And what I mentioned to her was that to take off for maximum HP, just to make sure
Mhm.
that gets tracked. Alrighty. So yeah, we left off at the market, and I believe, if I remember correctly, Throm was like headed to the sheriff's, and
That is one thing that was happening. Yeah.
and the cleric, uh, Father Hartman, had gone to the Black Bricks, and he was going around letting everybody know that there was going to be a service. And I believe Quincy was helping clean out Elentar's room.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Which honestly, there wouldn't even be anything in Elentar's room because he never got to go to it. But
These
Nigga,
elves.
you did.
All right. So, yeah, I guess we'll start first with Throm going to the sheriff's office, and this I believe is like at roughly the same time that everybody's doing the clothes stuff.
All right. Just gonna drag. I don't know his name, but just gonna drag him with me to the show. Well, I'll let him walk this time to the sheriff's office. I don't know how to find it, but
Yeah, it's easy enough to get there. It's right on, like joined to the town hall. It's like on the right side. And it's easy enough, like people let you know where it was anyway, but then if you stop and ask anybody, they're more than willing to tell you. And it's also, you see that you're getting definitely drawing some attention to yourself, because, I mean, while this guy's walking, like, he's still, like, kind of beat up, and it's not like he's, like, happy walking around, like, hey, buddy, how you doing? You know, he's, like, miserable, pretty much being forced. And you are also a giant albino dragon man.
all right. So yeah, just gonna make. And by the way, I'm a white dragonborn. I'm not albino. There's a difference. Anyway, gonna make my way, I guess, into the sheriff's office.
Downtown, walking fast.
I don't know if there's a sheriff or a constable, whoever's at the front desk.
Oh shit! Stop.
All right. So yeah.
Oh, hi, niece and nephew. Sure.
So yeah. So you go around the town hall. The town hall is like, you know, a larger building in comparison to the rest of the buildings. It's shaped kind of like it's like a rectangle. It's long, and it's not like super wide, but it's mostly a longer establishment. And you go around the right side, and you see it looks, it's not super huge, but it's an entryway that's maybe like two garage widths together that kind of just pokes out from the side of the building. And you go around, and there's just like a simple wooden door frame it's open. And you can see there's just like a symbol of a star, and it says sheriff. So
All right, I'll walk in.
as you step in, you see on the immediately on the right, there's like two wooden stools, wooden chairs that are empty, and you see straight in front of you is a. It's not really a counter, it's kind of like a higher table almost, and you see a kind of a portly looking dwarf sitting there. He's just kind of picking his teeth with a toothpick, and he looks over to you and kind of like gives you a nod. Hey, what, what, what can I help you with?
Yes, I had a very criminal I was tracking down, and I need him to be restrained in one of your human cages for a while.
Well, uh, what this man here? What did he do?
He stole a precious jewel.
He stole some jewelry from who now? From you?
I just kind of cock my head to the side and, like, really look like he could steal something from me. No, a client.
All right. Well, okay. Bring him this way. And he jumps off. He's sitting on like a stool, and he plops down and takes you further in. And you can see right from where you're standing that there's a couple of smaller cages. There's like cages, jail cells. There's a small aisleway between them. One's on the right hand side wall. One's on the left hand side wall. They're maybe like 8 feet or so long and just like a few feet wide, maybe like 4 or 5 feet wide. So he takes out his key ring and goes to click the first one. It doesn't latch. He's like, ah, shit. Yeah. And he goes and he grabs another one and unlocks it, and it squeaks open. And yeah, you can throw them in here for now, and I'll check to make sure the story is good.
It's good.
Hey,
I
watch
push
your
him into
language. There's kids watching.
the cage.
He stumbles forward and catches himself and like he mumbles to himself and like rubs his shoulder.
Right. You'll be good now. I'd say, of course, sarcastically. Give him a smile.
He gives you just a very kind of like fuck you smile. And like a facetious like go suck it smile pretty much. And then he just plops down on the smaller cot that's in there. So the dwarf, he turns to you and so who come with me, and he goes over to where he was standing and he grabs some papers out and he just starts getting ready to write down some stuff. So all right, so he stole some jewelry. What did the jewelry look like? Did you retrieve it or?
Okay, I'm gonna have to explain this in my normal voice because I'm not gonna be able to say all that in that Dragon Ball voice.
You're committed now.
That'll
You're
destroy
committed now. No.
That'll destroy me. So
I don't do voice acting.
that's what happens. Yes, you stole this right here, and I pull out the necklace, which I have tucked inside my shirt.
At that, like his eyes like open wide, like, oh my, where did that come from?
My shirt. I'll put it back in my shirt.
I suppose so. Okay. And so he stole your jewelry. Okay, and what's your name, sir?
Bro.
Throm. THRO. And how was that? MMB? Two M's?
does it matter?
I suppose not. 2 M's. Okay. So, about what time did this happen? What time did he steal the jewelry?
How does how does how does time work where we are? Is it
Um,
regular?
Yeah, it's normal time. I just do like normal, like 12, or I say 24 hours, but like 12 and 12 a.m. p.m. It's just simpler that way. It was later at night, when you ran into him. I think it was like, trying to remember exactly, but it's when everybody got back, so probably like 9:30, I think, or so. So this is roughly about the time you ran into him.
Sure, that's what I said.
Okay, no problem. Okay, and is there anyone else who might be able to verify your story?
Uh, as a bounty hunter, would I have some type of documentation on me to show that I'm actually hunting a bounty? I imagine I wouldn't just be randomly taking people out. I would have some type of contractors on the show, right?
Yeah.
All right. Show them a contract.
Okay. He takes it. He reads over it. Yeah. Well, it certainly matches the description here. All right. Well,
Of course.
seems it checks out for now. I'll do some digging just to make sure, but okay, we'll keep him here and we'll deal with him.
Thank you very much. And be careful. He's a tricky one.
And at that, he like puffs up his chest, and he's got like big man boobs and stuff. He's like super portly. He's like, don't you worry, he's not going anywhere.
Good, good. Okay. Those
All
no
right.
done yet. I'll wait.
Yeah, sure. You have a good one. You take care. And as you leave, you hear like a little, and his feet are just like up on the desk, and he's picking away at his teeth.
I'm going to have to find them all over again. I'll whisper to myself.
All right, fair enough. So the day is still young here. Is there anything else you were hoping to do?
I don't fucking shop. I'm gonna go back to the bed and breakfast, and I'm gonna wait for everybody to meet up and see what we're gonna do about the lady in the woods. So, yeah.
Okay.
So
And I do believe that you guys said you were going to go out and look for a few things. I think you guys said you were going to meet back there. So
Eventually, yeah.
so that makes sense. Okay, so you go there and you go there and Quincy is there. He's like putting some of Eldrin's packs or whatever what few things he may have not been carrying on his person, kind of putting them aside. Clearing out his room.
I'll just give him a nod and like just walk to the bar area.
Yep.
Yeah, it's more like a small breakfast bar. Yeah, there's like 2 stools.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if you asked Rosa or Chris, they'd probably hook you up with a drink if you're interested.
Yeah. Just gonna sit there and max for some wine.
All right.
It's typically a wine type of place.
Okay, dear. I'll be right there. And you see she like runs off to the back. Takes her a few minutes, and she comes out with a bottle and kind of like dusts it off and pours you a little bit.
Okay. That's it. I'll just sit and drink until everybody shows back up.
How would the drink in a place like this even be?
What do you mean? Like how would it
Uh,
taste? How would it
like quality.
Tastes
like
like
quality?
piss.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably pretty decent considering that Handel is right, not that far away,
It's true.
and
Yeah.
it's like the larger port in this region. So, and there's a decent amount of foot traffic that comes through Utsad. People that just stop and rest and before making the trek to Volstand.
All right. Cool.
All right, so you're drinking, Quincy. Is there anything you're doing, or are you just kind of like staying there? Is there anything like you wanted to go out and do, or are you just waiting for everybody to come back together?
I'm just gonna wait for everyone to come back together because they clearly know about what's going on, so I don't even need to go to the town hall anymore to ask about it.
All right. So, I guess on to you three. You guys went and you found the tailor, and you did that. You went around the shops a little bit, and you know, pretty much just sought what does the market square have to offer, and that's kind of where we left you. So, is there anything else you were hoping to do while you were out and about?
Probably. I think Martha's still in a shopping mood.
For the sake of not spending as much time, I'm just going to say she window shops and eventually gets kicked out for doing nothing but window shopping.
Right. Is there a shop that sells sleeping powder?
Sleeping powder? You
Yes.
can certainly try and look for one. I, just knowing like this is a small town, probably not.
Alright,
Would be your best guess, but I mean you can always try. But again, this is like a small village. Sleeping powder would be like a specialty thing. Like you'd have to find like, essentially an herbalist, some sort of doctor or something that had all sorts of various herbs and chemicals and stuff like that.
Right, okay. So Martha got kicked out for window shopping too much. I'll just turn around and say, well, shall we go and actually do something useful to help with our little problem in town? I say we go to town hall. Town hall. To get some info.
Well, we don't have anything better to do.
This is like visit the marketplace and that's it.
Store down, Betty.
I'm literally suggesting things people said last session that is apparently forgotten. So
I kept bringing it up, but anyway, we should probably head for the town hall because no one else did it. Yeah, town hall.
Okay.
March to the town hall.
Alrighty, there we go. To town hall. The hall of the town. Town hall.
Center of town.
Okay, so Leah, are you not going with them?
I messaged you in Discord like we did last time because Leanne stuff that only I'm doing it only I'm supposed to know for now.
Well, I know, but they did notice you because you kind of like brushed past them. So, it was.
Still,
Did you guys leave him? Did you guys leave him to do his own thing, or?
Pretty much, because like Martha failed to catch her, and I'm just like, oh well.
She's a big girl. She can take care of herself.
Okay, so we'll say that you kind of were like, hey, we're gonna go look around at some stuff, and then we're all gonna head to town hall.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
here we are strolling past the town hall, probably in slow motion.
1 second, guys.
RP time. You know, I wonder if you should have gotten that second dress as well, Martha.
A second one?
Yeah,
Goodness, whatever
you
for?
had a choice of two. With the blue one and the purple one.
Oh, that would cost way too much.
Well, I mean, every lady should have a wardrobe, right?
Maybe, but. Well, I don't see a reason to have too much more if I'm going to be out and about, getting dirt and dust on them.
You never know when we'll be invited to fancy dinners.
If we ever do, I can always buy another dress then.
Right, Dylan, I told you I told you basically what I was doing here. I need to take an emergency trip to the bathroom. Hopefully, you shouldn't have to ask me to do anything for the next little bit because of what I sent you there.
Emergency trip to the bathroom, wow.
Don't worry, it'll be like 10 minutes, I think, tops.
I'll just shout into the bathroom.
Lunch!
Just bring your microphone into the shitter.
That's what I do.
Except he can't because he'll be taking my laptop with him.
All right, y'all. I'm back. Sorry, I got like a phone call that I like really had to take.
That's fine.
Who it is RPing?
Quote unquote.
So you guys are headed to the town hall?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so at that point, Leah, you haven't seen Leah yet. So you guys are just like, okay, whatever, and head off to the town hall. So, like I was describing before, it's like a more of an elongated rectangle. It's kind of like the overall shape of the building. It's all wood, and it has, similar to most of the other buildings, it has like these wide, like wooden shingles siding, just from like long, like they rip down logs and just, cut them into whatever 1-inch planks, all the way down, and just like use that as siding. So there is a wooden gate in the front, which is open right now, and like a small, probably 15-20 foot like cobble pathway into the main building. It's just like double door, square, wooden.
Right. Is there like a little like notice board full of wanted posters?
Yeah, there's a quest board that tells you everything you need to know. You don't have to talk to it. No, I'm just kidding. There's doesn't seem to be any sort of boards like outside. There's just like a small garden. I say garden, but like a small like flowery patch to either side of the doorway. And like a little bit of grass, and this is like that 15 to 20 foot cobblestone area, and then there's nobody outside at this point. It's just the gates have been open. Yeah.
We'll just stroll in unannounced.
Okay. So as you open it up, you see that it's just like the foyer is it's large, wide open, like really tall ceilings. You see on the right hand side there's a staircase that goes up to like a balcony style area and just like goes straight back. And right when you walk in, there is like a big L-shaped like counter kind of desk area, and with a younger woman sitting behind it, young human woman.
Okay.
Hello, how may I help you?
Okay, good. Do you want to do the talking, Martha, or?
You go first, Ton.
Fine. All right. Hi. Yes. We heard about a small problem in town regarding missing children, and we're hoping to see if you can tell us anything about it, because we are kind of trying to help here. We're trying to help with this problem.
Are you the ones that helped young Adler?
Well, we tried, yes.
Well, we tried to help.
found
That's
found
the
him.
main.
You found him anyway. That's better
Yeah.
than we could do. Um, guitar in the background. Okay.
Sorry.
So, what can we help you with? You're looking for more information?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how many children there have been that went missing.
Well, off the top of my head, I don't know the number. I can look it up for you, but it's been going on for quite some time. It's picked up recently, and my best estimate off the top of my head would probably be somewhere in the ballpark of 30 to 40. But some of those have come back. All the girls have come back.
Boys are still captured or taken.
As far as we know, we haven't heard from them, and even some of the villagers who have gone in search parties, not all of them have come back. We don't.
What is that noise?
Good question. All right. Is there? Okay. At what times did the search parties go? That'll be a good question, wouldn't it?
Well, probably they started early morning, if my memory serves me right. Probably maybe 8 or so, and searched the whole day. We've had several that have gone out, several different parties, but like I said, not everybody's come back. And at this point, we dare not go in there. We have no idea what it is.
So you said some villagers went missing during the searches. Then were the other villagers around to see this happening, or were they split up?
Well, there's been at least one that I know of, and in that instance there was two parties, and one of the parties never returned.
A whole party went missing. Oh boy.
No one's sure. There's about a half dozen or so men.
Goodness.
Party. Oh, good grief. All right. Has there been any strange characters in town lately besides us newcomers?
Well, we do get a lot of people through here. We get a lot of foot traffic. People coming in from the port, or people coming out of Volstand. We also do a lot of importing and exporting. So we have quite a few people. There's nobody that I can think of that really stands out. If I were to say, I mean, you lot have definitely stood out. But besides you,
Yes, well, I think we stood out in a good way. Okay. Okay, how about this? Did the farmers notice anything strange while they're working at the fields? Like this, anything out of the ordinary?
Well, hold on. Hold on here. And you see that she just like gets out of her chair, and she goes behind her. There's like a larger like bookshelf almost, and there's just like a bunch of ledgers in it. And she kind of takes a few minutes. She's like flipping through and like scanning, and then puts one back, and then takes another one off. And she does that for, again, like probably like 3 or 4 minutes. And hold on 1 minute, I'm looking. And then she comes back and, well, what we've received so far, we've had reports that the the birds have been acting strangely. Some of the ravens. We've had a couple of incidents where they've attacked the villagers, but um, nothing too severe, nothing too serious. Just odd. Besides
Minor
that,
detail. When we found Adler, there were also a lot of ravens attacking us. Yes, along with the scarecrow. So yes, I think it's related. That's helpful. Thank you.
there was also one report of a scarecrow missing, and we didn't think anything of it until, you know, what happened last night.
Wait, scarecrow missing. Do you mean the one that we dragged into town, or do you mean a separate one entirely?
It's possible here. Hold on, let me check. It was Mr. Ritter's. It seems he's where were you located roughly? When you ran into the scarecrow? You're towards the forest region, right?
Yeah, at the edge of the forest.
It's possible. It could be. Mr. Ritter does own his land near the forest. I can't say for certain
Well,
off the top of my head, but it's possible.
we'll make a mental note to pay him a visit, so ask him some questions then. Can you give us his address?
Hmm.
Yes,
Well,
it's 1 Field Near the Forest Lane. Now, yeah, there's not really any addresses, but she's like, okay, um, he is near the western side of the fields near the forest. He's probably about 100 yards or so out, maybe 200 yards from the edge of the forest is his cottage. And she points it out. She takes out a small map of the area and she points. It's probably somewhere about like here, which seems to be
Okay.
like pretty close. Like that's pretty much where you guys were. Like you didn't see the cottage, but you were probably, whatever, quarter mile.
Well, that's a good place to start, I guess, as any. Thank you for your help.
more information than we knew at first.
Yeah. So with that, we just like thank her, and then we're just like, okay, we got a lot of information. Now let's regroup back at bread and breakfast, I guess, unless we have another place to go.
I can't think of anywhere else.
Well, we could go to the sheriff's office again, but I doubt they'll have any more information.
I guess we'll just head back then.
Sure. So off we go.
Okay. So you take a little time and you come back, and at this point, I believe it's closer to like 1 o'clock ish. 1 to 1:30 maybe. So, and everybody else said like they had gone back and they were waiting to regroup. So you guys come back and everybody's there.
I mean, I was on the roof of the building, but I guess I jumped down and greet them.
Oh, hello. What are you doing up there?
Yeah, my things.
I see. I'm sure Martha would love to hear about it.
Yeah, she can talk.
Anyway, we found out some interesting things at the town hall. But let's go inside so I can divulge what we've learned so far, anyway. Walk inside. Is everyone else just like sitting at the chair, they're just like waiting for it to come in, just like stoic silence?
Yeah, I picture Quincy's just like fiddling.
You're just like looking at some stuff, doing finger blades and all that. Oh, hi guys. Did I keep you waiting?
Um,
Wow, silent contempt.
is everyone dead?
Yeah, so you get in and just everybody's dead. You have no idea what
Silent
happened.
contempt.
Wait, who came in
So
and was
you
talking?
see,
I couldn't see.
On a fart and it killed everyone.
so just going by what everybody was doing last
Well,
time,
with the
you can
hammer.
feel free to comment if it doesn't suit what you think you'd be doing. But you see Throm taking up his usual both stools, one cheek per stool, at the breakfast bar, and he's just kind of like sipping
Absolutely.
lightly on some wine, and he's like looking around the establishment, just kind of not really engaging, but just passing time. And you see Quincy, and he's just sitting on the couch. He's kind of fiddling around, and Leah, if she jumps off the roof and breaks her ankles or whatever, she kind of scrawls down from the top of the building and meets you and like, hey, what took you so long? And then you guys
Well,
walk in.
we were shopping and we were, well, let's just say we found some juicy information at the town hall.
And I got a lovely new dress.
Yeah, so we're picked up tonight, so don't forget. Right. So, I'm guessing Mr. Quincy and Mr. From here are dying to hear what I have to say.
Yes, please share.
Please.
So, we found out that there were multiple children going missing, as Mr. Blackberg has told us already, about in the ballpark of 30 or so children. And what we also found out was that 2 search parties were already sent after them. One of them went missing completely. About
And-
6
And-
people.
Go ahead.
Amateurs.
Yeah, so 6 fully grown adults went completely missing. So that's a fun news to learn about. And also, apparently there was a reported missing scarecrow, but we're not sure if it is technically the one that we destroyed. So we have to pay a visit to Mr. I can't pronounce his name. Well, how do you pronounce his name? It was like
Ritter?
something.
Ritter?
Yeah, Ritter. That name.
Mr.
So I put Mr. Ritter's farm so we can ascertain whether that scarecrow was the one that we killed, even though it's very close to where we were last time. Oh yes, and ravens are very mean at the fields. They have been attacking villagers, like behaving oddly. Maybe similar to what happened last time as well. So yeah, that's all the nice lady could tell us, but I think it's better than nothing. Did I miss anything, Martha? It's like silent.
Well, I think I recalled him saying something about the girls came back okay. It's just the boys that have stayed missing.
Well, yes, she will confirm that. Yes.
Is anyone actually girls? What they were?
Come again.
Letting.
You'd think that would be the first thing they did, but they didn't mention anything like that.
Short the
I
investigation.
some direct accent. Sorry. Got that. So I think we probably should pay a visit to Mr. Riddler. God, I'm getting confused.
Riddler, really? He's not a fucking villain from Batman.
Yeah.
Riddle me
You
this.
see Rosa chimes in. It's Mr. Ritter, dear. An odd one.
I'm bad at first time names. All right.
Mr. DM,
Yes.
for
Mis-
my for my personal immersion, what is the town's activity like at this point? Does it seem like people know what's going on? Are people worried?
Oh, definitely. I mean, like, you guys just last night had the big to do and like woke
Mm-hmm.
everybody up, and like a lot of people were scared, and
Childish
there's like
murder.
one of the people, if you remember, confronted you, and they were
Mm-hmm.
like we're gonna believe these people that a scarecrow piped in, and you guys kind of like talked him down, and everybody like whispered and murmured, and then like oh shh, 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 and then kind of settled down.
I'm just trying to get a gist for the general temperament right now.
I basically told them don't believe us if you will, but you're taking the risk of getting some alcohol. So
Um,
take
You think
your
I'm
pick.
saying something? Okay.
but it seems business
I have a
is
question.
Yep, go ahead.
Question for you, Dylan. I know that they mentioned that there was some girls that came back from whatever. Uh, did they ever say anything about whether or not they remembered what happened to them, or was that ever asked, or did they like bring it up and say we asked, but they don't know where they were? Like that wasn't was that a thing that happened?
No, it's been mentioned that the girls have come back, but beyond that, like nobody's inquired further. It's just been like stated.
Actually, no, you did mention it the first time they inquired about it. Is that the girls came back, but they did not remember what happened, as if nothing happened. That's what you said.
Okay.
As DM. So
Okay.
there you go.
No, then that's what it is. I couldn't remember if I had told you that. I thought you guys had just.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely
That's
mentioned
what-
it the first time Ellen
Okay.
I'm
And
not sure if Art.
your characters
I'm
will
not
know
sure.
then that they're
Okay.
not sure what happened, that they returned, but they didn't ask for any names or like who was it. But you guys do know that they've come back, and they don't have any sort of recollection of exactly what happened. They just kind of wandered back into town and just kind of like disheveled looking, and several days later.
That's what I need to know. Okay.
The poor darlings.
Right, so now that we know this bunch of information, I would love to get started on looking for more clues. But we have a funeral service to get to in an hour.
Yeah, at this
Oh
point
shoot, I forgot to buy flowers.
it's probably about 20 minutes away. I normally do like 1 minute of in-game talking is about like 1 minute in-game time.
So, I don't think we should be late for a funeral service because that'll just be rude.
Well, you don't want to be too early either.
I suppose.
Then you might disturb the people who are setting things up. Not that I'm speaking from experience, but
Well,
Well, that's
from your
anyway.
best guess, um, I mean, it seems like it's definitely close to the funeral service.
You know who hates being early
Said it
for
was at
funerals?
2 o'clock, and yeah. And you can see that throughout this conversation, um, you haven't seen Chris this whole time, Chris Blackbrick, and you've seen Rosa just pop in every now and again, and it seems like she's like trying to. I don't want to say pretty up because it's a funeral, but you can tell she's like put on like a black dress and various things like that. She's getting ready.
We're not exactly dressed for a funeral service, are we?
oh, Martha's going upstairs to. Oh wait, she doesn't have her dress yet, does she?
You're gonna wear
No, it's
a
at
blue.
the end of the day.
Well, shoot.
You're gonna wear a blue ball gown to a funeral service.
It's better than wearing peasantry.
Do we have any black clothes?
Well, I got my hood on. I got my hood, so I can do that.
I mean, if we rolled around in mud long enough, I guess it would be kind of black, brown.
I'd like if Quincy would like to say at this point, just like, I'm going to go see if they need help with the preparations.
Oh yeah, I'm sure
Leave to
someone
go.
wearing heavy plate mail just wandering through the service is perfectly normal.
Well, he also has like symbols of
I have
Pelor on.
I have
Yeah,
vest-
and that,
I
like
have.
it's
Can I speak for myself, bro? I have vestments in my priest pack, so
Yeah.
I definitely
Well,
fit in.
like he's not just walking around in fucking battle armor. It's also ceremonial.
Okay,
There's ceremonial parts.
so are you actually armored up, or you're just in your more casual attire?
He would not have his armor on in the bed and breakfast.
Right.
That's true.
But he's going.
Okay.
I would just picture him. He's going to go grab his vestments and head towards the. It was a church, right? Small temple.
Yeah, the Temple of Pelor. Yep.
Yeah,
It's
he's gonna head towards
just
the
down the
temple.
street from the town hall. So okay, and so you head out, and you can see there's a decent amount of people like walking towards the church when you head out. They're dressed in all various manners. Some of them like actually have like black attire. Some of it is just like a darker color. Several are just they have like white shirt and cotton pants, like whatever they had on.
I just picture it's all these like common people, and Quincy's just walking through with like these very fancy like Paylor vestments.
Yeah, you definitely catch a few eyes, and you see like people are very respectful. They like give you space as you're walking, and a couple of them like nod their head to you in respect.
Like the symbolism is recognized, so
Yeah, I got you.
it's cool.
right. So back inside the timer, I'm just like, you know what? We don't have the clothing. Whatever. Let's just go.
I've got my hoodie. I've got my hood on, so I'm just gonna have my hoodie. Yeah.
Would be rude if I like made some pastries or something. Probably.
You have 20 minutes. How are you
Yeah.
gonna make pastries?
Well, cookies only take a good 15.
I'm sorry
Yeah,
your
at this
child
point,
died. Here, have some cookies.
yeah, you also have to like walk over there, but at this point, you guys probably have about 15 minutes.
Oh well.
Just just
Well,
script,
we're
man.
gonna walk there. We're gonna walk there now.
Yeah, it's not terribly far because it's not like the largest town in the world, but it's you still gotta like walk over there, and you can see like already in front of you, Chris steps out from the back, and he has like a nicer like formal attire on, and he takes Rosa and heads out. And on the way out, he kind of nods at you and asks, "Are you coming to the service today?"
Well, yes, but we kind of don't have the attire for it, so we're just gonna have to go with this.
I'm sure you won't be the only ones, but I know that Runa would definitely appreciate it if you were there. And to that, he just kind of like bows his head a little bit and steps out.
Come on, Martha. You're gonna see someone off. And try not to break down this time. We had enough of that last night. Just walking.
Okay, so you guys head out. You're walking towards, and again, and just like with Quincy, you can see there's still quite a few people, little stragglers that are headed in. And it's by the time you get to the temple, it's like a smaller establishment. So there's like a small crowd outside, and they're just like slowly trying to pack themselves in. And Quincy, so you get there, whatever, probably at least 5 or 10 minutes before the others, and you notice it's already begun to fill up. You see walking kind of back and forth and doing various things. You see the father. You see David Hartman, who you recognize that was the person you spoke to, the like head cleric
Yes.
priest.
All right, I'd like to head to him asking if he. Oh, excuse me, Father. Do you need any assistance with the services?
Oh, young Quincy, of course, of course. Uh, I'd very much appreciate it. And he kind of guides you, and you kind of know these rituals anyway, so you give him a hand in setting out various like incense and making certain like divine sigils and markings and just going through all the normal steps. You're kind of making this ritual in that center platform praying area,
Mhm.
and you can see like at this point you're going through and like people are just packing into this place. Like people are standing all up against the walls. Like it's packed in there.
All right.
So as the rest of you show up, footsteps behind the black bricks. Um, you guys are on kind of more on the edge of the crowd. The black bricks kind of like weasel their way in. Kind of like, oh, excuse me, friends of the deceased, let us through. And they're kind of splitting their way, making their way through the crowd.
Martha's going to look for the mother.
Okay, she's up towards the front, like the frontmost pew on the left, and she's just kind of sitting there. And there's like a larger, bulky looking gentleman, bald, just has like his arm around her, and you see the black bricks like they go up and they kind of like bend down like they're talking to her, and like give her some like light rubs on the shoulder, whatever, for a second, and then take a seat next to her.
She's going to keep her distance for now, but
Well, I'll just take a random pew, you know,
At this
like
point,
in the middle of the whole thing. Pew that's in the middle.
with the exception of that front pew that was like the family, like the rest of this place is like packed. It's like sardines. Like all the pews are full. Like people are standing up against the walls. They're packing in kind of as tightly as they can.
well, in that case, Martha's not going to sit on the empty pew next to them, but she's going to stand like next to the pew in that wall area by it.
And at that you see her eyes drift over towards you, and she like reaches her hand out and like touches your hand and just like gives it a squeeze and just says,
Martha squeezes it back.
I'm just beside Martha all this time. I'm just like, okay. Hashtag girl love.
Leah is kind of just looking around, like she hasn't done this before, so she's kind of just standing there looking around, like, okay, so what happens next?
yeah. So it takes a few minutes, and eventually everybody does fit in there, but it is like packed. It's already like within minutes the place is sweltering. The doors are just kept open, trying to ventilate as much as you can, but there's a lot of people in here. And Quincy, I don't know if you take your place beside Father Hartman, or
Yes.
okay, so you take your place beside him, and you're kind of waiting for everyone to settle down, and you've made your arrangements. You guys go over and ring the bell, and at that, all the murmurs start to quiet down, and and this is for everybody, you look around and you can see on a table platform in the middle of this circular praying platform area, right in front of this statue of Palor, there's like a sunspot that comes down from the ceiling, and it illuminates this table. And on it you see lying there peacefully is Elentar. Has his hands over his chest like a cross, wearing just like these very nice, like white kind of silk robes. They have the symbol of Palor. It's like a low cut kind of V-neck robe, and a essentially that, but a smaller version for the boy, for Adler. So after a few moments, as everybody quiets down, Father Hartman steps up to the altar and, hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you on behalf of the family and everybody in the community for coming. We've gathered here today to send off our friends. This heroic individual here who attempted to save this boy, this poor young boy, and there are no words to describe what's transpired here. But we can say that we are at least thankful of the individuals who helped bring Adler back to us today. And at that, he kind of like gestures to you all, and like does a sweeping gesture like back to Quincy as well. So I would like everybody to take a moment to think kind thoughts of the deceased and prepare for the sending. And there's just a few moments of silence. Everybody bows their head and takes moments to collect their thoughts and whatnot. And at that, he kind of nods to you, Quincy. And you know the drill, but he kind of goes around to the sides of the bodies, and he's like, he lights up some incense, and he's like kind of like dabbing it on them, and like saying, just speaking divine words of power, words of calming, words of sending. So this ceremony goes on for probably 5 or 10 minutes or so. And just so I know where everybody is, where is everybody located in the room?
Martha's right next to the mother. Still sort of
And
squeezing
Leah
her
and I are
hand.
next to Martha, so Leah, Martha, and I are grouped up.
Okay.
Whoops.
Throm?
Oh, Rom didn't go to the funeral.
Oh, he didn't go? Okay.
Oh,
No, he stayed at the bed and breakfast. He's sharpening his weapons and making a plan for the next move. So he's in hunter mode.
All right.
You know where Quincy is, so.
Yeah, he's at the front. He's, participating in the ceremony. Okay. So after several moments, if we get to a fight, I swear to Paylor. Don't swear to Paylor. That's not a good idea. So, as
Legit, if we get to initiative, I am going to.
as his like chants kind of and his words like they get kind of like louder and louder. There's like almost a rhythm to it. It comes up to like this apex, and then he stops and does a ceremonial bow for a few moments, and then releases and comes back up and walks over. And as that happens, you see, I don't know, probably about at least a dozen is your best guess. Children step forward closer to the altar, and they all look varying degrees of like dressed up, all various attire, and they all have flowers in their hands, and they step up and place the flowers on the bodies. as they begin to come down the steps of the altar, you see them all stop for a moment, and they all turn and look at the three that are grouped up in the front. They look at Leah. Leah, they probably snapped mostly to Leah, but some are looking at Martha and Eldrin. And you see all of a sudden, like, all emotion, all kind of life in their face fades, and they just stand there for a moment, like in this awkward silence. Eventually, they all raise their arms and they point at you. You all, I should say.
Okay, that is.
Oh dear.
Uh,
You okay,
they look
sweetheart?
possessed.
Martha's looking. She's starting to sweat a bit. She's like, oh dear.
Are they
Is this
possessed?
better?
Hang on, can I just take a look around me? Can I just take a look around me at like the
Yep.
black bricks and the other guys' faces to see what the expression is?
They're just looking around like very like, what is going on? Like I said, they're pointing to like you three that are in the front, because you're at like the right side. You're like in the aisle of the pew, kind of like between the pews. You're kind of standing off to the side in the aisle.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if there's anything affecting them? Because they look that's very unnormal.
Yeah,
That's not.
they look unnatural, and like as you're looking around, this is like a few seconds go by, and then they begin to smile in this very just strange, like almost supernaturally large smile. And yeah, so is anybody looking around at this point? Like I said, like everybody's like murmuring, like what's going on? Is this normal?
Sure. I was looking around at the faces of the people around me to see if they think it's normal.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check. Anybody who's looking around, make a perception check.
Oh, 14.
Okay. Let me check. Because Quincy would be pretty confused too. Let me get my.
Yeah, Quincy, you can have advantage on the perception check because you're facing the other way. Like you're on the altar looking down.
Or I don't know how to. Do I just hit the perception thing and?
Yes.
Yeah, just,
Yep.
just click on perception. Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
no
20.
problem. Which is fine. So both,
I guess divine sense would be working in this.
yeah. So both Quincy and Eldrin, they both notice no problem. As these children, they smile, they're pointing. You realize, Quincy, that they're not pointing at the party. They're pointing at something that's in the doorway. And as you follow, you see a almost a blurry, shadowy figure in the doorway, covered in like this just decrepit like vines and just almost hunched, has like large claws almost, and is just staring right at you. Has almost like grudge style, like this weird mossy grotesque hair is just all down its face, and you just see like one singular eyeball poking out and a large supernaturally wide toothy maw.
Would I know instinctively that this is something Titani told me about during last night's dream?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly like a weird evil creature. You didn't have any sort of like visions of what the creature looked like, just what pretty much Titania just told you. It was an acquaintance of hers, and that she was banished from the Feywild. This wretched creature is pretty much mostly what she told you. She didn't give you any specifics.
I'll just nudge Martha and Leah and just point at the doorway, let them know, because I don't think they've caught up to it yet.
Quincy doesn't have his armor or his weapon or his shield.
And guess what? The tankiest guy is not at the service right now, so he can't help.
And
Damn it.
you
Flailing his
notice
blade.
as you notice this like horrific image in the doorway, you see like probably a half a dozen or more crows, just like, or ravens, sorry, come down and like perch like on her head, on her like whole upper torso. She like puts her right arm out and some land on that, and then she just opens her maw unnaturally wide and in the smile, and you also see all the because I'm trying to play it both ways because Quincy can see from the other side, and Eldrin and whoever's looking forward can see the children, and they both speak simultaneously. The children speak in like this weird drone like voice, and then you hear from whatever this creature is. You will all be my children soon enough.
At that, I am just going to be like, Martha, the kids act this way.
No, I've never seen this. Oh dear. What do you mean?
Have you seen the hag at the back there, at the entrance?
Does she see it?
Yeah,
I did
and
point it out.
so as she speaks, it's kind of like the children are speaking in like a monotone voice, and her voice kind of like overpowers them. Everybody kind of snaps to her, and she just begins to cackle. This creature just begins to cackle, and then just lets out a large shriek, and it's just like poof, gone, and the birds just dissipate.
Wow, she's gone. I was gonna make Quincy chant a prayer, but she's gone now.
And at that you see the children that were like all at the altar, that were pointing and whatnot. They just like start running around. They just like acting like just weird. Like they're just running around like smacking into walls and like just doing random crazy stuff.
Okay,
Martha
Martha, why don't
attempts-
you grab one of them and then try
Yeah.
to stop them from hurting themselves?
Yeah, Martha's already trying to scoop up some of the younger kids into her arms, like there's some sort of firewood. Like, no. Stay
Yeah,
still,
and
dears.
you can see like the parents are stepping forward at this point because they were just like this all kind of transpired over maybe like 10, 20 seconds, you know. So they're like, what's going on? And then once their children are acting all fucked up, they're like, hey, what's going on? And you can see there's like a panic that erupts in the service. Like people are trying to flood out of the door. You see parents like running up and like just grabbing their children.
I like Quincy under his breath is just praying. Like, I can say the prayer if you want. I found one.
Yeah, sure.
It's like he's just like under his breath. He's like, "Shine forth thy light, drive back the darkness, bring life where there was death, bring growth where all was barren, bring peace where there was strife, bring warmth where clawed the fingers of ice, bring mercy where there was none, bring knowledge where there was ignorance, bring comfort where there was fear. Let the sun rise, let the shadows flee, both in the world and in the minds of men." Just like on repeat, as there's just this freaking like pandemonium happening in the temple.
Yeah, and as you're
You're
saying
not
that,
helping, Quincy.
the Father Hartman, like you get like probably 8 or 10 words into it, and he knows it, so he begins going with you, as you're both holding on to your holy symbols and you're chanting it together. You see like the parents are trying to snatch their children, and these children are just literally like trying to claw their eyes out and stuff, just acting like maniacs. So like Throm said, like normal kids. And after probably about 20 or 30 seconds of this chanting, the kids start to just like holler out in these like unnaturally like bass, low tones, and then go still, go quiet, kind of like limp in their parents' arms.
Can I tell if any of the things that were hollered out and all that stuff during the duration is in Sylvan, which is the language of the Fae?
Like what? Like that the children and the
Anything
creatures say?
that comes out their mouth, basically. Does it sound like Sylvan words or something?
I mean, it was in common.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't in
That's fine.
Sylvan.
Cool. I'll just be
Actually,
like, I think we found our guy slash, I guess, lady of the woods. Maybe we should go after them, like, quickly.
Just bad. Walk out.
Martha just sort of nods and she sort of hands over whatever children she did manage to grab to their parents and was like, okay, let's go. Quickly, quickly. Guess we're not getting good sleep tonight, are we?
It's
We should probably grab our
midday,
weapons.
Martha.
Yeah, and people are like literally like trampling over each other at this point because it was like super packed in there. Like people were just like like fleeing in panic.
Right, so we're not going out the main way. Is there a back door?
Make a perception check.
Perception check, okay. Dink. 17.
Yeah, so scanning around the room, it's kind of hard to make out because like there's just this mass of people that are just trying to squeeze themselves, extrude themselves out through that doorway, and you look around, you see some larger windows you might be able to like break if you wanted to get out, but besides that, there's like some smaller doorways up where the altar was. You're not sure where they go. You just know there's like one on the left-hand side that you've seen Father Hartman come out of, and then on the right-hand side, it's just like a closed door. You're not sure where it goes to.
Right. I'll just say to Martha, how much do you think a window costs to replace?
Wow.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, I used to own a bakery. Let me think.
Before she finishes her
Just one
sentence,
time I kicked through a rock in it, so
Yeah, it's like it's just like a large, like a wide square window. There's
Yeah, I was
probably
gonna
like 2 or 3
Because
of them on each side.
because if it's cheap, I'll just Eldritch Blast it.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you don't need to roll to hit a window. It just if you Eldritch blast it, it just shatters.
I'd hope not.
Nick can't hit the broadside of a barn from the inside. What are you talking about?
Sorry, Father, but we need to make a quick exit if we're to catch that lady. I trust you're coming, Quincy. Hops out.
I'd have. Yes, I just need to go get my equipment.
I'll meet you at Black Brick so I get Drum.
All right. Quincy's gonna make haste. Well, thanking Father for praying for the prayers with him, try to help, and then just bolt off towards the bed and breakfast.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys are just like hauling ass, like what is going on? And you guys notice like on the way out, like this really large, like bulky gentleman is just holding Runa, and Runa's just like going back and forth, like screaming at this point.
Oopsies. I guess we should have probably consulted her first, Martha. But whatever. Runs towards
well,
Black Brick.
you guys dragged me out before I could.
It's like a hectic scenario.
No,
like,
Leah, this is something out of the ordinary.
Yeah, we've taught like explained it over 10 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever it is, but like that all happened in like 1 minute.
Well, that
Tell her once we get rid of this baddie. How about that? I'll have a nice long chat with her once this thing's dead.
sure.
I'm not-
And my best guess would be it'll be in the forest. Gee, I'm a
Yes.
genius.
I'm not one for killing, but when they seem to be kidnapping and killing children on their own.
Mind controlling would be more appropriate.
Either
So
way,
So we take our 20 minutes to the Black Bricks.
Yeah, it probably does take, like, especially if you're in a sprint, like if you're sprinting with purpose, it doesn't take you long to get there. Maybe takes you like, 5 minutes or so if you're sprinting.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, a leisurely walk would be probably like 15 minutes or so across town. It's not a very large town.
But they're booking it, bro.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They are hauling ass.
Yeah, and so you guys are darting, and you see like all the people just like scattered to the winds. Like they're doing the same thing. They're just like fucking darting it out of there.
Remind me to pay the father later for the cost of the window. Sorry.
If we kill this
I'm noting it
one
right now.
baddie, I doubt he'll care.
You never know. Glass is expensive, right?
Stained glass, especially.
Yeah, he totally noticed it.
Yeah, I did shout to the father, sorry, before I darted out. So, is Quincy just like grabbing his plate mail and everything?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe so,
Well,
right? I mean,
yeah.
you talk for your.
It says
character.
chainmail. I wish I had plate mail. That'd be pretty cool.
That's a future thing.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like he's just like putting like he's just getting out of his what do they call it, vestments, and just putting on his chainmail and grabbing his shield and sword and like his and stuff as fast as possible.
Martha's pretty much shoving everything she can think that would be useful into her backpack.
Oh, then
Um,
we got to come back to the.
Sorry, go on.
Okay, and so cutting over to, did Throm just DC?
Nah, I'm here. I just reloading the page. I lost it. So, but no, I'm
Alright.
here.
Okay. Yeah, so cutting over to you, you can hear, like some large commotion coming, from the direction of where you knew the service was going to be. You hear just like various screams, like a massive screams, and yeah.
All right. I'm just literally just sitting downstairs. I have my great sword on my lap, just oiling it. And this sword is about from tip to hilt, probably from the floor up to maybe my midsection. I don't know if anybody's ever read Berserker, but it's like that big.
Oh, yeah.
Berserk.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That
So-
massive cleaver.
So I just kind of
Berserk.
Super badass, like super overcompensating,
Yeah, just-
like just fucking awesome. Yeah.
And whenever he swings his bloody sword, it
It's
sounds
funny
like a
'cause-
frying pan.
big
Okay.
man needs a big sword. It's usually hidden under the big cloak that I have, so it's not very visible.
I was gonna say, I don't think you can really, like, if it's that big, I don't really think you can hide it that well.
Yeah.
Like, you're taller than, like, you would be like a really tall person, right? You're probably like 7 feet tall, roughly, being a dragonborn. Like, if you had a blade that was that big, that would be like really hard to conceal.
You
I'll
could
just-
literally
I'll
put
just-
that on top of somebody and they couldn't move, I reckon.
Yeah, it's just on my back.
Okay.
I mean, I never really,
Rest
you know,
is sort of the-
explained how it was there. It's just like all our weapons. It's just there on my back. I mean, obviously I'd never described it, so nobody would really pay attention to it out of character because, no metagaming way to do it, but that's what it looks like when you guys walk in. But as of now, I'm just like listening to the commotion, not really reacting as of yet, just kind of calculating.
Okay. 10-4. So
Yeah.
you see like Quincy comes in first. He like throws the door open, and Quincy, you run up, you go grab your armor.
Yeah, and just like my shield and my sword, and like
Okay.
just like my gear. Just grab my gear to go.
Yeah, being that it's just chainmail, I can't remember. Is it chain shirt or chain mail?
It's chainmail. It's heavy
Chainmail.
armor.
Okay.
Takes 10 minutes to
it-
don.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they say for full plate. It probably doesn't take you quite 10 minutes, being that it's chain. Um,
I feel like you're
But
slipping
there
on
is
like
some but
this
there is
heavy.
some
It's like a
yeah,
really
preparation.
but there is
heavy
some
sweat.
time. It does take you some time. It takes you like at least like 6 or 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of like in a haste, like as fast as you can, trying to throw everything on.
Trying
Grabbing
to
your
get that like weird tabard thing they wear over it.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then we're just like entering the Black Brits. I'm like, hi. Hey. No.
Yeah, and you see, so everybody at that point strolls in.
So
So
we better get after that whatever the creature is, but I have a feeling it's a fey creature.
what is this creature you speak of?
Basically, a crazy old lady, I'm guessing it's a lady, showed up at the funeral service.
I didn't mean to
Basically,
hit that, but
Mhm.
sorry.
basically, this crazy old lady turned up at the funeral service and tried to manipulate every single children inside, and basically made them go haywire. They got mind controlled.
Kindergarten.
Yes. Basically, children seem to have been brainwashed the moment they come into proximity with this thing. I'm not sure what
I
it
was
is really.
for like possessed for a short period of time.
Mm.
Possessed.
You're actually very weak and susceptible.
Or
Just
they just, or she's just specifically targeting children. Because she did say, and I quote, she will eventually make us all her children.
If she
So,
has a fountain of youth, I'm definitely up for that, but somehow I doubt that's what she was meaning.
yeah, no. I don't think she means capturing kids to mate with. Even though that's a wrong picture.
Oh, for God's sake,
come.
Nick.
Right, so grab your gear and let's head to the forest. Because that's the best place to start.
All right.
Of course. Exactly.
So in the middle of all this commotion, Ragnar, which is Weiler,
Oh fuck yeah.
um, if you want to just briefly describe your character,
Very.
I'm not sure entirely why he's there. I can't remember if you told me or not.
Basically, he's left Volstan to adventure, and he picked up some commotion going on in town and has showed up. And Ragnar is a 6'4", like well built, strong warrior. He has blonde hair that's tied back and a bushy beard, and blue eyes, pale skin. He's basically a straight up Norse warrior, and he wears heavy armor and wields a shield and trident. So
Sweet. So pretty badass guy. So you're several blocks down when this commotion starts happening. Maybe like in the marketplace. Just I don't know how long you've been in town, but you're just searching for whether you're grabbing a bite to eat or whatever, just exploring the marketplace. And this commotion happens, and you just hear, like at first you hear a bell, and you're like, oh, what's going on? Some sort of service? Okay, whatever. I'm going through different stalls and things like that, and then
and he's not necessarily Pelorian, so
yeah, and it gets to the point where you just hear a mass of screaming and people just darting. You see probably a good dozen or so people are like headed towards the market square, just like branching out, just like dashing away.
and he's a soldier. He's going into war mode. He's looking for weapons, people who are armed, like people to help or people to fight. He's going into instinct mode.
Okay. And you notice like as you're dashing towards what's happening, you um, see like it's not really that noticeable, but just a window gets burst out, and a couple of individuals kind of just like barrel out of the window
Not very
and just like
noticeable.
book it. Well, I mean, like Eldritch Blast is it's like a force, like it's not like he notices a huge highlighter going through the sky. He just like looks over and poof, the window just like bursts outwards, and then you guys
Explodes.
yeah, you guys jump
And he
out and start darting down the street towards the black bricks.
Yeah. So he's
All
the
right.
guy
So
that-
this in this timeline kind of already happened. So should I interfere with them? I don't know.
Well, you also see Leah.
so
and
that's a weird
Mark
situation.
poking you with me, so.
So she sees an elf just going, sorry, we're blasting at one. She sees Leah running, basically laughing her tits off because she finds this kind of fun. And Martha is just sort of panicking, like, ah!
So
But you're still a little bit further down the street,
okay.
so it's
yeah.
not you're not like right in front of it when it happens, and
Okay.
they're not like stopping and looking around. They like you hear like a of the window bursting and all the glass getting strewn everywhere, and then you just see these three figures just like like down the street, and like I
So-
said, there's a lot of people running around, so.
He doesn't really know what's going on, but he's following these figures that just posted out, and he's probably been running for a bit now, so he's not gonna be catching up to them anytime soon in his armor, but
Yeah, and it takes a few minutes because you're trying to catch up, you're trying to follow them, but you are also a little bit behind, and you don't know like the exact layout of this town. Like they're making a mad dash, they know where they're going to the Black Bricks. So a couple minutes later, you go to this establishment. You see like the doors are flung open. It says Black Bricks Bed and Breakfast, and inside you can kind of just glimpse through like past the mudroom into the common area. You see like several figures walking back, and you see a couple of them are the figures you saw burst out of the window.
so he just kind of walks in breathlessly and is just like, what is going on? What is happening? Who are you?
Okay. First of all, there was a little commotion at the church, in case you didn't notice.
I saw
And
the
we're really
aftermath.
trying to find or at least go after the person that's caused the commotion, which apparently seems to reside in the forest.
And
Yes,
just
she
to
looks
cut you
like-
off, just to cut you off for like a second, just so to clarify for Ragnar, so this beefy-looking, like essentially like Viking-looking dude burst through with a trident, and asking you what's going on. And do you have symbols of like the Volstan? Like, do you have their emblems and stuff like that on you?
I would imagine I at least have my infantry insignia. Like I have my notification that I'm a soldier.
Yeah, okay. So well, I'm just saying so you guys would notice like right off the bat like this guy's got like he looks like a Volstand part of the militia, part of the guard. Very recognizable. So I just wanted to point that out, that you guys
Alright, then
would know that.
Let's reroll that into the conversation.
Long story short, creepy swamp lady stealing children. We're trying to find out where she is. She interrupted the funeral and they were chasing her.
What she said. And also, you are a Boston guard, aren't you?
Yes, not on duty, but yes.
We just sort of just sighs because she's like, "Ugh, we're gonna have to explain this to another person." I just sort of just walked a little.
Okay. How long have you been in town?
Like a half hour. I just got here. I'm wondering. I recently took leave.
I see. Well, sorry to interrupt your vacation, but we do have a little situation going on here. So if you want to help, you're welcome to just join.
Oh, trust me, I'm looking for a fight.
Well, all right. You might get one if we go to the forest, because that's where we're headed.
Is Quincy done putting his armor on now?
Yeah, also because you got there like just a few minutes before, so like you're just putting on like the last of it. You're like rearing to go.
Like as he's
And-
coming down the stairs, he's like just adjusting like the last straps to hold it on.
Yeah, as this like big.
So it's just he's just in like this
Viking
heavy
dudes.
chain armor.
So there's just these two
Yeah.
big blonde dudes in gigantic suits of armor, just kind of
Yeah,
staring at each other.
And Quincy has this like really like I wouldn't call it fancy, but it's like very
Come on now.
dignified. The like Palorian tabard that goes over the heavy armor.
I also like to point out Quincy probably also like just as he's coming downstairs, he just swings his hair, and then his head is just like glowing and just like waving in the
It's
air,
not a diva,
Kind of
bro.
like dramatic way, like Prince Charming kind of way.
Yeah, you
So
see
it's
this
good.
like fairy-looking highlighter dude.
Very looking highlighter.
No, he
But,
actually does
um,
kind of look like a fairy. 'Cause he's-
Ragnar is a very dignified guard, and he holds himself that way. He respects or he likes what he does, so he holds himself like you'd expect.
Yes, and I would just be like, okay, if you're satisfied with our explanation, why don't we start get going towards the forest? We don't want to lose this. Hey.
Yes, that sounds good to me.
And I just like rush out. Just book it.
This is a very hectic situation, so he's just taking their word for it. They seem like they know what they're doing, so he's going with them.
As I'm running behind Eldred, I sort of just look back and just go, "You better not slow us down, meathead."
Wow. Don't mind her. She
Like-
stares.
Like sort of like a an impressed look, like not even like mean or anything, like just sort of like an impressed look, like look at him. Don't slow us down, meathead.
All right.
And then I just dart off behind Eldred. Yeah.
So we're just booking it towards the place where we faced off the scarecrow.
Oh, also, not only is he trident and shield wielding, but he also has a light crossbow on his back. So this dude is armed to the teeth.
Yeah, because Quincy has a long sword, a shield, and javelins. So.
All right. So you guys
I guess
at this point
everyone's
you're
coming.
all heading out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys just like dart out of the place and you're headed making your way towards the forest. And again, like you can see like people are just like dashing through the fields, like they're like running to their homes and just all manner of things. You actually see a couple people coming out of their homes and they have just like shitty armor and like pitchforks and like torches and stuff, and they're just like coming out of their homes, like not everybody, but just several individuals. And they're trailing behind you by quite a bit at this point.
They're coming after us. Wow. Okay. How far are the others behind me? Like our party members, like From and all those guys.
You guys all have about the same movement speed. Actually, I think you all have the same movement speed.
Yeah, we
So,
do.
So that means
so
about
yeah,
about
you guys are all grouped fairly close together. I mean, you guys were like, all right, it's go time. Like A-team, like let's go. So you guys are all within like several feet of each other, just kind of like making your way, beelining for the forest.
So while we're going for the forest, I'm just gonna tell them keep an eye for animate scarecrows.
Also, while he's moving, Ragnar is taking out his crossbow and readying a bolt. He wants to be ready to jump anything that comes out.
So we're heading
Okay.
for the spot where we've met our first scarecrow and the ravens, and then we'll just pick up from there.
Okay. You come upon the ending of the cornfields, and you see like you can't really see in front of you that well. Like you're just like dashing through these cornfields, and eventually you get to the point where it just breaks, and there's about 100 feet or so of just like grassy area to the tree line. And as you burst out of the
Why is my alarm going off?
as you burst out of the field line, you see just like a smattering of a mess around the tree line of just various crumpled bits. They look like livestock bones or something. of that nature. Now, you can't tell from here, but you just see it. There's like somebody took them and just like threw them all around.
Some viscera.
Yeah.
Viscera.
Yeah, just miscellaneous, whatever, what have you.
That was not there before. I don't remember seeing those bones during the last night. Did you, Martha? Leah?
Can I make a perception check to see if there's anything besides sort of immediately around us?
Yeah, make a perception check. Yeah, you're like, what's going on? And you kind of like look up, like you look down at the tree line first, like where it meets the ground. You see all these bones, and you kind of, your eyes scan upwards a little bit, and you see a figure that looks like the same that was in the doorway, and just like staring right at you already as your eyes meet hers, and has just this wide, sharp-toothed maw, almost like the Cheshire cat, like just supernaturally wide. And as your eyes meet, this figure just like darts off like into the blackness of the forest.
Did the rest of us see that, or did only Leah see that?
Only Leah saw that.
Go on.
She's by the bones. She's making a dash for it in the forest.
I'm just
Leah?
like, okay.
I mean, she was inside the tree line. Like, you just saw her. Like, you were scanning, and you just happened to see the figure. Like, there's a gap kind of in the trees. She was at least 20 or so feet, 30 feet maybe into the tree line, and she just like went in further as soon as your eyes met hers.
So I sort of point to where I sort of saw her. I said, like, I saw the old hag. I saw the hag around there. She made a dash for the forest.
In a straight line.
She ran into the forest, so
And at that, I'm just gonna like, all right, I'm gonna take a blind shot with Eldritch Blast. It has 300 feet range. I'm gonna try it. Just throw in the direction she's going.
Make a perception check.
Me? Okay, cool. Nah, 11.
Yeah. You see like Leah's like oh, like there she is, and like you go, but it's like, yes, you would technically have the range for it, but it's just like she's like going in the trees. You don't even see her. It was just like a split second of like Leah and the creature's eyes met, and then she instantly took off farther into the forest.
Well, I guess we have to go in now.
Let's check that area out for prints. Let's check out for tracks.
Tracks. Okay.
Burnham's gonna yell, "What are you waiting for, you fools!" And he's gonna charge towards the direction that Leah pointed.
Bulldozer mode activate.
It's like he just charges through the trees, and you just see trees going like this.
Well,
Also, like Ragnar is like a hardened and dignified soldier. Thrum intimidates him a little bit.
And I'll just be like, wait, we. Okay.
You're gonna trample the tracks.
He's trampling tracks, trees, anything in front of him. He's just.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's ever. Yeah.
As you crunch over like this small, probably about 2 or 3 feet wide, like patch of just bone, various bone that's just like strewn around the tree lines, and your foot just like completely crushes and crunches in a small skull. Looks to be humanoid. As you dart off
Congratulations,
into the
you
forest.
just destroyed someone's skull. How lovely of you.
With a
Oh.
sickening and or satisfying crunch, you see this large white dragon man just dart into the blackness of the forest. Even this time of day, seeing into the forest, maybe 30 to 50 feet or so is doable, but after that it's hard because it's dense to really see from here.
Does dark vision help with this?
No, it's more of a line of sight, like the
Okay.
yeah. There's just a lot of trees. Not so much that there's no light in the forest. Although dark vision would help you a little bit because yes, because it's dense, there isn't as much light. But like I said, it's mostly just because the trees themselves are in the way.
I just like watch Throm just dart into the forest. I'm like, he's impatient. Well, take a skull, keep it, and then we'll examine later. And then just walk in.
Okay, so you pick up a skull. It seems like a small humanoid skull, intact.
Yeah, I just put it in my pack and just dart it after Throm.
There is no it's all bone. It seems to be picked clean. There's no there's no remnants on it.
Well, I mean, it'll be helpful later on when we're trying to look for stuff. But is it human though? You said humanoid. Is it
Yeah, it
actual
seems to be.
human?
Yeah, it looks to be human, like one of the common human races. It seems to be humanoid. Human. It's smaller.
All right, I'll just keep this as evidence. Now we know what happened to the missing children.
Oh, the parents aren't going to be happy with this. I'm not happy with this.
So what are
To
the
be
rest
honest,
of you
let's just
doing?
focus on this.
Yeah, so what are the rest
What
of
is-
you doing? Because Throm has taken off into the forest. So if you guys don't follow him, like
Yeah, we are following. I'm
he is
just running. I'm just running after him, just grabbing that skull.
Yeah,
Let's-
Ragnar is following, but he's being cautious. If there's any dangerous movement, he is going to be taking a shot with that crossbow.
Okay, so you're ready. You're ready your
Martha's
crossbow,
just-
which is fine, but you're following after. So what is Martha doing?
Martha's staying close to her friends here, or
Okay, Leah.
I lag behind a little bit, kind of just the sheer, like she is not a very social, like she's a social lady and all that, but when it comes to, like tracking, when it comes to sportsman, she's like very knowledgeable and stuff. So when she saw Throm just charging and just trampling over track, she just sort of stood there, sort of like you idiot. But there's like he's gonna fucking get himself killed. So then I dashed like a little bit of a lag between me and everybody else, but like I still dashed in afterwards.
Okay, Eldrin.
That'll be a good comment, sir.
I don't.
Is Eldrin?
So
doing the
what
same
you
thing?
got from?
Just listen for the T-Rex thought.
And Quincy. What's Quincy doing? Is he like just
Quincy's
dashing in?
sticking by the less hardy party members.
Okay, are you like
Since
leading?
the other, yeah, I'd say so. Well, because we're all running in the same direction, I don't think I'm really leading them. But like I'm out at point.
Okay, so Throm, you're probably you just had like initiative and you just booked it, and it took the others like several seconds to kind of like take in what was going on before they're like, oh shit, like we're going, and so you're probably at this point a good 70, 75 feet in front of the rest of the party. Actually, because double your movement, no, you're probably more like 100. You're about 100 feet in front of the party, and you just like charge into this black dense forest, and you can hear like the shouts coming from behind you of your other acquaintances, if you will, as together.
It's actually hard to follow him. He's literally trampling over everything.
Yeah, so as together you all charge into the blackness of the wood. And that's where we're going to take a 15-minute break.
Hey.
Good, because I need to pick up my food. By the way, as I'm running, I'm shouting, like, calling her a coward and, why do you run? Fist run! And just shouting this as I bowl through darkness like an idiot. Sorry, I had to play to my intelligence for these ones. So,
No problem.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why I said Leah sort of stood there stunned, like. When it comes to social etiquette and all that, she literally has zero fuck they could do.
it's kind of what I expect from the giant dragon barbarian man. So
Like,
Yep.
Leah absolutely, like, she's got football knowledge of social things. Like, when it comes to, like, being in a city, like, it was like, oh, this is fun. Like, oh, how do we do this? Like, you know that? The moment it's like, oh, a forest, we got to attack. Oh, we're hunting an animal. Oh, we're moving to the forest. Like, oh, okay, we do this and that. She just sees Throm running, and she's like, you idiot.
Pretty much.
Hey guys, this here in Discord is what Throma's doing.
I'm gonna get one second, I'm gonna get my
Quincy fell right into his natural role to protect, just like running like at point in front of the 3 squishier party members.
It's like us just like running, and then the T-Rex ass Throm that's just.
I'm gonna go and get my vodka cappuccino and
Yep.
Yeah.
So
while we're on break.
Weiler. Weiler.
Yeah.
Go ahead and I didn't notice Ragnar was level 1. You can level him up to level 2 to be in line with everybody else. So I don't know if you have a few minutes to do that over the break, that would be mint.
Only thing that I would have to do is like grab a drink. So.
All a good party.
So I'm just asking, like, curious to you, like, how many liters of liquid do you take into your body a day?
Yep.
Like, you just have, like, why don't you, I'm just curious, like, why don't you just buy one of those, like, I think, was it like 10-gallon jugs that you put in, like, a machine? They sell those right at most supermarkets. You should just buy one of those and put, like, a big straw in it.
I mean, generally I grab a couple drinks before I even start a game, but I didn't have a chance to do that today.
I really want to smoke a cigarette before this break is over, so Quincy's going to be the only level 1 in this party.
No, Quincy's level 2. Quincy should be level 2.
Okay, yeah, you can level him up. You can level him up.
Like, I don't know how to level him up, though. If I just hit 2, does it level him up? I really don't know.
No, you'd have to, like, actually go for the player's handbook and pick things.
There's some other bullshit involved, so... Let me take a whiz real quick, and then I'll help level you up by giving you anything that you just get.
Alright, I'm gonna run to smoke a cigarette really fast then.
Be right back, everybody.
Yeah. Cappuccino with vodka. Lovely. That's the stuff. Oh yeah, guys. And is anybody still in here? Hello? Hello? Is it me that you're looking for?
I mean, probably not, but...
Well, either way, something I'm gonna probably be doing probably around Chinese New Year, just because it'll have a reason to have some alcohol here. You know, so I'm not just randomly going out to the supermarket and buying whiskey. And see, I don't have any classes tomorrow either because of my schedule, so I could actually get wasted today and not worry about having to go to class at the hangover. So probably around February 15th, that sort of time-ish, I'm going to probably do my D&D session all piss-faced drunk from like a honey Jack Daniels probably.
Oh, great.
Which I think would be very interesting with Leah's character. Like, I've heard just being socially, like, inept. So can you imagine it's just being in a meeting with a king, and then you have a character that's supposed to be socially inept with a drunk player behind it.
Alright, time to try and level him up to level 2 without having roll 20 crash this time.
You guys are gonna like me when I'm drunk. I get giggly when I'm drunk.
So the two of us just see Strom trampling everything into the forest. I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah. I imagine Strom is just like stomping through trees and just uprooting plants as he goes along.
I posted a video on Discord. That's what Throm is.
She's just stomping all over the tracks and fucking marks that the lady might have left that I could have caught on to and maybe led us directly to her instead of,
villagers. And then... yeah, that's wrong.
Like trench boat for Matilda.
Whoever thought of putting cappuccino and vodka together, man, fucking genius. Love that shit.
You said that yesterday about chocolate and vodka.
But cappuccino and vodka even better. I get to have the sweet little tingle from vodka, and I get the energy from caffeine. This sounds like a very interesting way to have a night.
Ooh, get 9 more hit points.
Nice.
Don't forget you have to add your constitution as well.
Oh shit! Right. So I got 11 more hit points.
Oh,
That's
God.
ridiculous.
Yeah, so you tanky guys can be up there doing the work, and I'll just be at range just sniping.
Yeah, so you have 11 plus 12. 23.
hmm
Make sure.
I'm not good at math. I was thinking just like, what is 12? What
It's alright.
is numbers?
I got you, boo. So. Damn, I wish we had leveled Quincy, because of course Paladin has a lot of stuff at level 2.
Yeah. I mean, you could help him do it.
So I'm gonna ask him what he wants to do on the health, if he wants to just take the number. Or if he's gonna
I rolled and I got a good fucking roll.
Yeah.
Wait, actually, yeah. Okay, D10, yeah.
You could roll and get a 1.
Oh yeah, I know.
So
Yep.
no, so what he has to do is he has to pick a fighting style, and then he gets spell casting.
Which
Okay, I'm back.
Divine Smite. Alright, dude.
Yes.
So this is what I need. This is what I need from you for Quincy.
Okay.
So,
All right.
you get several different abilities. So just so you know, your lay on hands ability, the amount of points you get from that is 5 times your paladin level.
Okay, so I have
Just so
10
you
now.
What I would do, I'm gonna edit your sheet here.
Okay.
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 Change the link. Wait, does the paladin thing come up later on hand?
So if you see I modified lay on hands, like above, so it's whatever your paladin level is times 5. So 2 times 5 is 10.
Okay, yes.
So you're gonna get several different abilities. So you're gonna get a fighting style.
I can go over the fighting styles right now. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, I am too, so it's cool. So there's defense, which gives you +1 AC. There's dueling, which as long as you have a one-handed weapon in one hand, you get +2 damage. So that applies if you have a shield, like sword and board. It just gives you +2 to the damage. There's great weapon fighting, so if you have like a large weapon, it just allows you to re-roll the damage. If you get a 1 or a 2 on the damage die, you get to re-roll it.
Alright.
I'll be back in a sec.
Then there's protection, which is when a creature that you can see attacks a target other than you that is within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll. You must be wielding a shield. So essentially, if you have a guy that you're protecting that's standing next to you, you can use your shield to like kind of deflect the blow, giving that.
I'm gonna take protection.
Yeah. It doesn't work against. It only works if they're attacking, so it doesn't really work on spells. But.
Okay.
And it also uses your reaction, so you have one reaction per round, which can be used for like things like opportunity attack if somebody's running by you. It uses up that reaction, so you can only do it once per like cycle per round.
Like per turn, like per turn of
Yeah.
or like per fight.
Not per fight, per round. So like everybody
So
goes.
every time it comes back, you get another reaction.
Yes.
Okay, got you. It's like an action. I got it.
Yeah, but it's usually not used on your turn. It's usually like other people's turns.
Yeah. Got you. right, I'll take reaction then. How do you want me to roll for health or something?
So
Or
you
can
have two options. You can roll a d10 and take that number, or you can just take 6. But you can't, like, if you roll, like, you take it.
I'll just take 6.
Okay. Yeah, it's usually the safer
That's
option.
one. That's safer, yeah. I want to just have a steady up in the health. Not like
So-
I necessarily get a 1.
So you get 9 more because your constitution gives you 3. So you have 22 total hit points.
Damn, had a constitution.
Damn, that's a lot of hit points, bro.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Fucking, I rolled and I got a 9, so I got like 11 hit points back, or like new hit points.
Okay.
So you also get an ability called you get Divine Smite.
Okay.
Yeah. Mine's might.
You also get spells. So it's kind of it's pretty involved. So hold on.
I'm gonna send him the online sheet of the Roll20 compendium for Paladin so that he can just copy and paste.
Well, what I was gonna say, if you want to help me, Weiler, because you've done this before, I'm just gonna start adding them in. If you want to add in the text, that would be awesome. Like I'll make the entry and you just like copy and paste.
I mean, you need to give me access to his sheet.
That's fine. I'll give it to you right now.
Yeah, it's fine. He knows my sheet anyway. He helped me make it.
Yeah, but I need access to it. So.
Yeah.
And also, I sent him the webpage so that he can copy and paste too.
I'm opening it up.
All right.
Cool.
All right, Divine Smite.
So you just start filling those in. So you have, so on your spell tab, you have
I can't fill it in if you switch tab. Yeah.
Oh,
right.
sorry.
That's fine. So you have 2 first level spell slots.
Should I add spellcasting as a feat, or is that not necessary?
I don't believe it's necessary.
Okay, I thought so. And that's the only second level feat, as far as I can tell. And the fighting style, which I don't know what each. Oh, protection. Protection's good.
He chose protection. So okay. So Divine Smite. So essentially, that's what you can do, Ryan. So when you hit a creature with an attack, like you don't have to spend it. You can wait until you know that you've hit. You can expend 1 spell slot to deal radiant damage to the target. So in addition to the normal damage you would do with the weapon, you get to do 2d8 damage. Right now, you can bump
So like
that
I
up.
hit them with the spell, and then I can use the second spell slot to do the radiant damage. Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
well, so essentially what happens is you make a melee attack, like you swing your sword and you're like, in the name of Pelor, fuck you, and so you do the damage of the sword or
Class.
whatever it is that you have, but it's like a radiant, it's almost like you have like radiant divine power behind that blade. So in addition to the normal weapon damage, you also get to add 2d8 damage on top of that.
But it's also practical to remember that there are some things that are immune or resistant to radiant damage.
Yeah, there are things that are pretty much immune or radiant to anything. And if you hit somebody with a Divine Smite, I would consider it a magical weapon for that attack. Which is also useful to know because there's a lot of creatures that have resistance to things that are non-magical. So, but you can
For
only
me,
use it.
it's-
You can only use this 2 times a day at this point because you only have 2 spell slots and it uses up 1.
Yeah.
So you can do other things as soon as it gets, like as soon as you level up, you can start getting like higher level spell slots, 3rd level, 4th level, 5th level spell slots. There's some rules and it says you just add 1d8 more damage for whatever the level is past 1. But you don't have to worry about that yet. But it does also
I
do
just sent them a
additional
spells
1d8.
list.
Yeah, there is an additional 1d8 damage that's done if the target is undead or a fiend. Like on top of everything else we've already talked about, essentially,
awesome.
if they're evil, it does even more.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah.
if they're undead or fiend. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay. You got it.
You have Divine Sense. Yeah, that's good. So, sorry, what were you saying, Weiler, about the spell casting?
I sent him a list of spells so that he can choose those later. Like leveled lists. So.
Okay.
And you can copy and paste them from the compendium, but this is mostly to know what level each spell is. And know what spells your class can use.
Yeah, and I can't remember how many you can prepare as a paladin.
Yeah, okay, paladins
I
are
think
prepared
it's-
casters, right?
I think it's
cool! I
your
finally actually
level
have a
plus
healing
your
spell now.
charisma.
I would imagine charisma or wisdom. I don't know.
No, it's
Hold
charisma.
on.
Paladin is a charisma caster.
Yeah, okay, it's charisma.
So hold on. So spell casting. You prepare a list of paladin spells. Blah 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 blah. Charisma modifier plus half of your paladin level rounded down. So right now your charisma modifier is 1, so you can choose 1 spell from the list.
Damn.
But it's charisma modifiers. No, wait, is it 1?
Is +1.
Yeah, it's 1.
So you have 1 spell.
I can only pick one spell out of all these.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
But like next level, like just hold on a second. So
Okay.
next level, you'll be level. Oh, you're level 2 now. So okay, you can
Yeah.
can pick 2. You get to pick 2.
It's
from the
2.
list.
Is your thing plugged in properly?
Yeah.
I can hear things from your headphones.
All right. Do you want me to tell you what I pick?
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
I'm gonna pick Shield of Faith, and if I don't pick Divine Favor, can I still do the radiant damage? Or is Divine Favor the one that gives me the radiant damage?
Divine Favor. hold on.
Divine Favor is a different spell entirely.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
like a
okay,
different thing.
okay.
So you
I'm
have
gonna pick-
what's called Divine Smite. That is like a spell in its own right. It uses up a spell slot to use. So you have 2 spell slots which you can use for Divine Smite, which I've told you it's the thing that's like the fuck you in the name of Paglor, swinging your blade, and then there's your other 2 spells that you're gonna pick. So you can use any one of those things.
I'm gonna get
2 times.
I can only pick 2 though. I can only like use 2 out of all of them, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying after you've picked your spells, you have 2 spell slots, which means you can do any combination of those things, but only 2 times a day at this point.
But how many spells can a paladin know at level 2?
I just said he can use 2. It's his charisma modifier plus
Okay.
half of his paladin level rounded down.
So I can use all on the level
I'm
1
used to
ones.
Okay.
Wizards are kind of
Yeah.
They
You
do.
know
Your
you
wizard
know more
level
spells than you
plus-
use.
intellect. I can't remember if it's intellect.
Intelligence, yeah.
I'm still
It's
confused.
intelligence.
So I can use any
Anyway.
of the level 1 spells off this list, or I can only pick 2 out of them.
You can pick 2 out of them. You can
I'm-
you can prepare 2. You have all of these spells, but daily you can only.
Oh,
have
right. That's
2.
how.
All right.
So-
Well, Quincy's gonna have Shield of Faith and Cure Wounds. Prepared.
All right.
All right. And I'm not used to this kind of caster, but yeah, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So there's certain casters like I'm trying to think here, but druids, wizards,
Mm-hmm.
paladins are one. Are you? Give me a second. Let me put these spells in.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, anybody who's watching. I don't know if my niece and nephew are still watching, but we're almost done.
Doubt it.
We got a whole 0 viewers.
Nice. Back to norm. We lost them. We're taking too long.
Ah, well.
Got short attention spans. happens.
Okay, so
Honestly,
Shield of
I
Faith, and what was
probably
the other
wouldn't be
one?
able to watch this.
Yeah, you
I'll
too
watch
good
it.
for our stream.
Actually, I could probably watch our stream, but the group 1 stream I just can't sit through for some
Okay,
reason.
am I gonna need the components for these spells, or you're not gonna do that to me?
I do it to a certain extent. If it has a gold value, or if it's anything like really out, it's pretty much if it has a gold value for the most part. You usually wouldn't have to worry about it until like higher level spells, or there are certain spells that like you need 100 gold thing.
Oh, sorry, I did that.
So just hold on one second. So you said you had Shield of Faith, and what was the second spell you had?
Cure wounds, I think. Yeah, cure wounds.
Okay, so I will drop all the spells in at some point, but if you go to your spell tab, you should be able to just click on those. Like you can hover over like Shield of Faith or Cure Wounds. You click it, and it's gonna ask like what level do you want to cast it at. You only have level 1 right now, and it'll do it. So if you had healed somebody, theoretically it would be for 7. Spits it out.
So that is one of the raw healing spells that I was talking about, that heal based on the die roll.
Okay, cool. That's what I wanted anyway. Awesome.
Alright, so you have your health. Did you filled in the text for Divine Smite protection?
Yes, I did.
Wait,
protect. I don't know if I did it on protection. I might need to do that. Hold on.
You didn't.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, okay. I'll copy it right now.
Yeah, if you want to grab that real quick, and then his stuff is
yeah,
done
I'm doing
for
it
now. And you're
protection's a really cool ability.
You know what you can do for lay on hands, correct? Ryan?
I think I explained it to him.
Yeah, he explained lay on hands to me. I understand it now.
Okay. And I think it has all the text in there if you ever get confused.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just so you know, my homebrew rule is I require that you use 5 points of healing to bring somebody up to consciousness.
Yep, he told me.
Okay.
No paladins just spamming lay on hands 1 point to bring somebody up.
Yeah, because there's no negative health in 5th edition, so it's kind of like game breaky. Like you have nobody else can compare to a paladin at low levels because he can just use 1 point of healing and bring you back up. It's kind of lame.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah, it makes more sense anyway. I understand.
All right. So, is everybody else all set? You did your level 2 stuff, Weiler?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So, did you?
I mean, you might want to take a quick look, but I'm pretty sure I did everything.
All right. So, with that, I'm gonna revoke your privileges here to his sheet.
Oh yeah.
All right. That's good. All good. Everybody's good. All right. So, is everybody's back at this point? We're good.
Everybody alive?
You muted, remember?
I'm all good. I'm using my own bloody headphone now since Nick's room seems to have magically better Wi-Fi than everywhere else in the bloody dorm, so I can actually use my own Discord now.
Who's that?
Heh. So yeah, I'm not going to be using my laptop speakers like the plebeian. I'm using my bloody own headphones and
I will find art to use for a token for Ragnar probably after the game.
Speaking of art, by the way, I'm going to be doing a drawings of our D&D session now for a bit of fun. I was thinking about doing a comic at first, but that will take a long time. So I think I'm just going to do like still scenes of like major points or points that I think will be interesting.
Like blasting the window out.
Like the scarecrow fight, the us breaking out of the church, us catching the thief with us and Throm, and of course Throm just charging to the forest.
You should make the art for my character, dude. You're pretty talented.
Yeah. Too sweet. You guys do
Oh god, you just fed him. You just fed him.
Yeah.
do it. I've been telling him like all the art that you guys do. Like I'll decorate the pages. At some point, I want to make an overlay so it hides all my crap. But
I mean, I could try to do your drawing. Just saying, like, I'm not that great right now. Like, I still have some good amount of mistakes. So, I mean, I'll try.
I mean, like a toddler
I mean,
could
one
draw
second,
something
one
and
second.
it'll impress me. So
1 second, 1 second. Let me give you an idea of what you're doing.
I'm very not picky about art, honestly.
all right, guys. So let's rein it back in here. So, I'm just gonna do a roll call, make sure that everybody's here. So, Eldrin,
Hi.
Leah,
Here, Nick, your mic is still muted. They didn't hear you. Bloody hell.
so you're
What are you
here.
talking about? Mine is transmitting.
Martha,
Here.
Quincy,
Here.
Yep. Hello.
Weiler, I know you're here, and
Yeah.
Yep.
all right, so we got everybody. So, taking it back here, so you guys are all charging in the forest, and you guys can see the group that's behind, being led by Quincy. You can see Throm's just large, bulky figure just fucking tearing into this forest, just like crushing up underbrush and branches, and just like not giving a fuck, just charging forward, and he's screaming out,
You know, knocking over trees.
"You
Not that
coward!"
It's not Godzilla.
Come on!
I'm just like, stop being so reckless.
So, after you charge forward a little ways, and you can feel like the trees. It's almost like they're closing in on you. It's just becoming just denser and denser and denser forest, and you, Throm, you can hear like a light cackling, like as it like kind of like drifts overhead and then fades. And you are left in relative silence. You can hear your feet like crunching the underbrush. You can hear the sounds of your compatriots behind you following you. But
Alright,
besides that, everything seems relatively still.
I'm gonna stop. And I'm gonna see if I can see her. I heard the cackle. Once she cackles, I'm gonna stop and see if I can catch a glimpse of her.
Yeah, make a perception check.
Get out here, you hot bitch.
Yeah. So and your eyes go upwards as you hear this light cackle, and you see in the canopy something, the figure moving just very quickly, still facing you. It's like facing, like the head is fixed unnaturally on you, as like the body just like darts, almost like because Nick loves Naruto, kind of like that, like jumping like very quickly from branch to branch, like in a fluid motion that almost seems as though she's like gliding.
Ah, got you. And I'll continue running after.
Yeah, and at this point, like it doesn't take her long. Like this creature, whatever it is, just knows its way around the forest. It's very easy. Like she, no problem, loses you. Like you catch a quick glimpse, but like this forest is getting denser and denser and denser, and there's just too much obstructing the vision. It's hard for you to keep up on the ground floor. Just the way that she's moving.
Right.
And we're obviously keeping up behind Throm as best we can.
Yeah. I'm assuming when I stop you, I'll caught up a little more, but Yeah. Once the trees get a little denser to where it's kind of hard for me to keep charging, I'm gonna slow down to a intense walk. Like kind of trying to look and pick my path, but much slower now.
All right. So you all are greeted with again, it's everything seems still. Um, you know from experience, from what you've heard, that the villagers, the townsfolk, they don't come into the woods. Besides the few times that they've attempted to find the children, they're very superstitious of it. They do not come in here, so everything is relatively undisturbed. You see there's like thick shrubbery, and again like just a dense forest. You hear various like creaks and moans as the wind blows and creaks the trees back and forth. The canopy is fairly dense. You can everybody can still see, but it is the further you go in, it becomes like darker and darker.
Yeah, well, the dark doesn't really affect me too much, but the others, yeah. So we eventually catch up to From, and I'm just like, do not rush into a forest like that. That's the best way to get yourself lost. And I just turned to Lee. I was like, all right, I hope you can do something about tracking here.
All right, your fucking things are picking me up.
What it is.
Either way. This has got to be trained for everyone else.
Right. So I guess I'll just use Nick's laptop to speak still because I don't want you guys to be hearing me twice.
Go on.
Just
All right.
sorry, Nick. So I can't hear myself because it's distracting as fuck when I'm hearing myself talk like behind myself, like with like a half-second delay. Right. Okay. So you're transmitting, I'm assuming, just fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna walk up to Throm and just say, I'm assuming you lost her.
She despised that one, but she went that way.
Points.
Right. Can I do a sort of can I check for tracks or any broken leads or any sort of marks of movement in where he points?
Sure, yeah. Go ahead and make a survival check.
Can I assist with that?
Yeah, okay,
Since
so
I'm
make a survival check with advantage then. As Thrum is helping you.
Ooh, 15.
15.
Okay, so you guys take a few minutes, and again, things in the forest are relatively undisturbed, but you do see some peculiar like bark scrapings and things like that, and you manage to pick up like smatterings of these like half dollar size like circular indents in the ground, similar tracks to what you've seen near the forest line where it meets the field.
Oh no! Do I see this as well?
Leah does. She can point it out, of course, if she wants. It's her and Throm are like kind of looking around. I'm sure you're all participating to a certain point, but they're kind of like leading it.
So once I see those footprints and the scratch marks, I'm like, oh boy! Looks like there's a scarecrow nearby. An animated
Right.
one.
Let's follow these tracks and see where they take us. Let's not charge ahead this time. Be careful. We don't want to set off. We don't want to stumble into anything unpleasant by accident, or destroy or disturb any tracks. Let's do one thing though. As we're moving, let's quickly just put a quick let's put a quick slash on any noticeable trees or largeable trees that we've passed by. Just make sure we don't go through the same spot again. Sort of like little marks of where we've been.
I could blast a tree down.
No, thank you, Nick. I would rather not. One, that would be blocked away later on, and also basically advertise your position to the enemy. So let's just try to make a mental note of any noticeable things we see, and every now and then we'll put a small mark on a tree for us to know where we've been. Sound good to everybody?
Ragnar takes a bolt from his crossbow and he goes up to a tree and he kind of carves the insignia of Tur. Well, the rune of Tur.
Okay.
Works for me.
Brom takes out like 2 hand axes and just slashes 2 gigantic X's into a tree. You're the mark. And
Okay. Shall we press on then, following the tracks?
Right. Let's carry on. Let's see where these take us. Be on guard.
It's like
I'm not gonna have my rapier out, but I will have my other dagger sort of out. Like, just that won't really inconvenience me moving around. But I still want to have like a weapon sort of drawn and ready.
Oh wait, it's pretty dark in the forest, isn't it? Well, for these guys.
Yeah, like I said, it's growing like steadily darker, and at this point, with all the commotion, like running to and fro, it's probably about like 3 o'clock or so. Maybe
Would
because
be
the service
handy if
was
one of
going
us
on
had a
little
light
bit. Maybe
spell
like,
right now.
yeah, maybe like 3:30 or so, probably more accurate.
So I can see just fine, but the others are like kind of hampered in their vision. So
Everybody can see at this point, but it's more of like dimly lit because the canopy is dense, but then also it's mostly a line of sight thing. Like you've found like this smaller, like trail-esque, like path, following these tracks, but like the surrounding trees are just very, very dense. It's hard to see any real length.
Right. So we're just gonna sort of follow the tracks and see where they take us. I want my character to sort of be keeping an eye out for any signs of native wildlife that could be potentially threatening. So looking for claw marks, looking for unusually large paw prints or things like that. Sort of just animal tracks to sort of see if we're running into anything particularly nasty. So I don't give, if it's like a rabbit or something, I won't really give much mind. But if I see something like a big claw mark on a joke, I sort of want to be on the lookout for that.
Okay. So make a survival check, and what I will give you like right off the bat anyway is that part of the way that you found these tracks to begin with was you saw like scrapings and things like that. Presumably from this creature, you assume it's another scarecrow because it matches the same sort of prints that you saw. But you see like bark scraped off and just like twigs broken in strange ways and things like that. Like it was like shuffling through here.
24 for survival. Nice.
Yeah, and with the survival check, you see it's less of what you see and more of what you don't see. You notice that it's just extremely quiet. It's just like you don't hear any birds. You don't hear you just hear this typing from the ether. You don't see any sort of signs of wildlife at all, which is very strange.
Right.
Well, so do we? So is it just a clearing now, or is it still like, or is it still a very dense woodland?
So it's fairly dense forest. You walk for a ways. You're probably walking for a good, I would say, hour or so in the wood, until it starts to thin out a little bit. Not quite as dense, but it's still forested area. And you guys do see just quite a few of like the scraping of bark marks again. You see a couple of strewn bones and things like that lying around. Doesn't appear to have any sort of like pattern. There's not like a pile of bones or anything. They're just kind of like here and there you see like a shard or like a broken jaw piece.
Oh dear. Can we like do a scan for like the upper tree branches to make sure there's no one lurking there?
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
No.
Anyone or just him?
7.
Yeah, anyone who wants to partake in the perception.
Yeah, I feel like
that
is my natural element in the forest. I think I would be one of the people who would actually be doing that.
And also Ragnar's a soldier, so I mean he's constantly on the lookout for danger.
Yeah, so Nick is sort of he's cautious. You're a soldier, sort of you have experience like for being, on the lookout for things, and I'm in a forest, so I'm sort of naturally looking at all these things because it's sort of how I was raised, and it just feels like home for me here.
19.
Yep.
For one of the perceptions.
All right, so yeah, as you're looking closer towards the canopy, it is darker, but you do notice just a large number of darker shapes, and as you're kind of like, oh, what is that? And you look and you see that there's just like probably hundreds of ravens in the canopy.
Okay, I do not feel okay about those ravens. What do you bet that they are under that thing's influence? I really don't want to be in their line of sight. They could attack us like they did with the scarecrow. I mean, I could try gassing them, but I don't think that's a very good option right now.
I don't know what the range is on, like if you're literally going
It's
to
like
them.
it's a short range thing, so.
Yeah, because they're like up, like in the canopy.
All right. So is that the only thing that we notice up there? Like just the ravens?
Yeah, and you can see they're not doing anything, but they're looking at you. Or at least some of them are. They're not like all snapped attention to you or anything, but you see some of them are just looking in your general direction.
Well, we do know that the ravens like that hag thing that interrupted the service, but it doesn't seem that she's nearby. But is there any other tracks leading away from where we are?
That would be my responsibility to check, I reckon.
Yeah, you probably should check for that.
Some guessing survival check to look for any additional tracks or anything like that.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and make one more nature check. Or we'll have you've done quite a few checks. We'll have somebody else. So, like somebody who hasn't really made a check. So whether it be
I've made one so far.
Yeah.
I mean, I could try doing it, but my stuff is not exactly great.
Mine isn't either, so I don't know.
Well, I guess I'll just try it then.
Well,
Survival
you could use something else if like equivalent, like you could use investigation, you could use perception. If one of those skills is better, if you haven't rolled yet. Okay. So you see the tracks, and I mean, if you're following them, you go deeper into, we'll call it like the Raven territory. Like there are all hundreds of these birds are overhead. You're going and following these tracks until you get to.
Don't forget.
What was that?
I'm just gonna tell the party to like, don't forget to like leave a mark on the trees so we know where we've been.
Okay,
We've been
so
doing that.
as you follow these tracks, you come to a small clearing in the wood. And you follow these tracks for probably another 20 to 30 minutes. And there seems to be almost like defined like pathways in the forest at this point. So you come to this smaller clearing, and there's a path left and a path right. That's probably about 4 to 5 feet wide pathway, one going right, one going left, and you see that there are multiple sets of these tracks at this point. That they've kind of converged. Some of them go left, some of them go right.
Okay, there seems to be multiple scarecrows. Or either that or it has been one that's been traveling around here for a long time.
Can we try to get a gist of which side has been most recently walked on? Like which side is more disturbed?
They seem to be fairly equal.
Okay.
Just by like it would be pretty obvious, especially if you're looking for it. Like they both seem to be used in the same amounts, and they don't get like heavy traffic, or at least from what you can tell, like all these little peg marks. But they seem to be like splitting off, going either way.
How far away are we from the area we saw the birds?
You left that behind probably like 10 minutes ago. You still see like there's quite a few birds. It's not like the entire canopy like it was in that one section, but this section, like there, you still see like a smattering of them. Like there's like 2 on this branch, or like 1 up ahead. There's like a constant presence at this point now that you've noticed, but it's just not to the same extent as it was back in that area.
So, what do you guys think? Left or right?
Definitely don't split up.
Split up and look for cool.
That's the worst decision to make right now.
Look for cool. He's a fucking.
So scarecrows, huh?
Yes, animated scarecrows.
I'm Ragnar, by the way.
Hello. Okay, it's working now. I was gonna have Quincy chime and be like, "Well, we could flip a coin."
Flip a coin. Anybody got a quarter?
I have a idea. These ravens seem to be quite present here, and I think it's fair to say that they've got some connection to the hag, considering we saw them at the church earlier. So why don't we try, since there's not those many here, why don't we try perhaps scaring 1 or 2 of them, see if they have any tendencies to fly in a certain direction, see if they're trying to fly back towards something, or if they're just randomly scattering.
Thank goodness I wanted to suggest that, but again, not smart enough to figure that out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth a try.
Right, Rom? Have fun.
I'll be like, no. Don't destroy the landscape. I'll just use Eldritch Blast on them.
Sure.
Cast the crows.
Try not to hit them directly. We want them to fly away. We don't want to fucking cripple them.
Yes.
Just like these birds, just like walking with like little walking. Just these crows are like walking sticks, like.
Well, let's see what happens. Let's see if Eldritch Blast goes anywhere near where I aim. Yeah, it's just gonna miss, but it's gonna scare them.
Hopefully.
Yeah, you hit like a thick tree trunk right beside it and like blast a large chunk out of it, and you just hear like cawing, and all the ones that are in the nearby area just like they go forward. So these paths split like left and right, and they go off in either direction. You can see like there's a slight curve to both of them. these birds go roughly straight, like they go kind of between the paths, like slightly to the right, um, as they are scared off and they fly off.
Right. So I think that decides that let's go on the right path. We don't know where this path leads, so for all we know, it could end up coming back towards where the crows went. But I don't feel like just leaving these tracks behind and missing out on something.
Just for
Let's put
I
a
guess.
let's put a mark here to make sure we know where to make sure we know we've been here.
I just
in
blasted a
in
tree.
case, fair enough. In case this path leads nowhere, we can possibly just follow it back here and try again.
There's a smoking tree top. I think we know where we are.
Uh-huh. So do we all agree with the idea of going to the right path, or does anybody have anything they want to add?
Yep, I agree.
I agree.
Well, it's the only way it's better than not going anywhere.
Right, so we take the right path.
All right, so consensus going down the right path.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, you go down this right path, and you can see that there's like a slight curvature, almost as if there's like a larger radius. It seems to be like pretty constant, and you come to a point where there's a mark left. There's like a path that goes left, and a path that like keeps going around in this radius.
So the radius, how have we when it goes right? Has it been sort of a constant right turn, or has it been like?
So you went right,
Yep.
and that right path has like a slight left curvature or a slight counterclockwise curvature.
Okay, so it turned right and then it sort of curved inwards to the left.
Yes,
Sort of towards the middle.
but very gradually. It's not like sharp at all. It's just like you happen to notice that you're not working in a perfectly straight line. It's just
Yeah, I just wanted to know which way, because I just wanted to make sure that the image I had in my mind was correct, like for the direction here, so I knew which way this left road went towards.
Right.
So at a fork in, are we?
Okay, so we saw the crows going more towards the middle earlier, and I thought about, and I suspected there might be something in the middle, and I thought that this path might end up going left. So looks like I was right in that assumption. I feel like if we take the left path, we'll be led towards the center of something. I feel like these paths are going around. These paths to me almost feel like a sort of. This might sound silly to you guys, but more like a sort of hunting ground or a territory, and the left path sort of takes us towards the center, whereas this right path, I feel like, is going to sort of take us around the circumference or radius of the circle, like the outside, you know.
It's reasonable.
This is a completely new area, right? We can just go around in a circle. Like, kind of thing that it's right path connected to the left path earlier.
Yeah, there's like, so you're going around this radius, you go around for, a minute, and then there's, like I said, there's a path left that goes straight. It probably goes straight like 30 feet or so, and then you can see it like turns out of the way to the right. And then there's also this right path that you're on.
My mind is set on the left path. Does anybody have anything they want to suggest?
I mean, there's nothing to say otherwise, so I'm fine. We'll have to explore both paths eventually.
Mm-hmm. My only concern is that we should all stick together.
Well, no one's splitting up yet.
Yeah, we're not doing it. So, like, from
Obviously.
my intuition, I'm thinking left here.
Oh, go for it.
I just want to make sure nobody's got any ideas, anything they want to say here that would point otherwise.
No, not really. And my character's not exactly bright, so
Right,
Neither is
so
Quincy.
right, so left it is. Well, Leah's not exactly bright. This is like the one situation that she's like intelligent in, is sort of like in forest and tracking. That's sort of the only time that she's sort of in her, she knows what the fuck she's doing.
Not to mention we were here like 2 days earlier killing rabbits.
I don't think it was this forest thing.
Yeah,
It was.
it was this forest, but it like
Different part.
you didn't come across this like specific terrace or this area, whatever, of the forest.
Right. Okay, so we had left.
Okay, so it's a straight path for like 30 or so feet, and then as you get to the end, you can see it turns right for maybe like 10 feet, and then turns left. It's like a zigzag.
Yep.
So
Well,
as you follow it down, there's another sharp right. And,
oh boy.
and the path continues for probably 20 feet or so, and then there's another left and right at the end of that.
Okay.
Left half and the right half again.
So left and right and left and right and left and middle again. Okay. So we've walked some like 100 feet towards that general direction. Like if we like ignore the zigzag and sort of just do a diagonal from where we turned left, it's like around like what 100 feet roughly, or
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
okay. Does the path continue or?
Yeah, there's left and right. So are you guys going on the leftmost path or the right?
Okay, so it splits left and right here.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, so to recap, it was we turned left for the initial path from the right, and there was a slight, and that kept going straight for a little bit. Then there was a right and a left again, and then there was another right and a left. So, ugh, would
Well,
the,
yeah. If
I sort of have like a little scribble going here and paint sort of keep track. I'm not sure if I got it right here.
I'm like tempted, like I want to let you guys draw it out, but at the same time, like unless you guys had something and you were actually trying to draw it out while you're doing it, you know what I mean?
I'm just sort of I'm just drawing it like in my paper so I can sort of keep track of where we've moved here.
Honestly, like
Well,
I don't care. Like this is fun.
not a scale, like just sort of have an idea of what our movements are. So I just have an idea of like the direction we're facing.
So anybody can
So
draw on this if you want to help keep track.
okay, so so if we turn left, would we be going would we be going okay, what I want to know is it left or right that's sort of perpendicular to the initial right path we were? Because if we sort of follow this logic, one of them is sort of going to be perpendicular to the other one. The other one's going to be going along the middle path.
So you guys can draw this however you interpret it. How you think your character interpreted it. I'm just going to describe the scenery. So starting from the beginning, you got to where this clearing was. There's a path left and a path right. You took the right, went down a little ways, took a left where it split off. That path was about 30 feet long and then turned right, went on for another like 5 or 10 feet, turned left. That path went on, and then, yeah, that path went on, and then this is where there's the left and right, I believe.
Okay, so I got that wrong there. Okay. So it splits off left and right from that, or it splits off left and right from that, sort of like a little V thing, right? Not like one goes straight and one's like, okay, got it.
I am kind of. Why don't you just draw on roll 20 then?
Okay.
My cursor is off target.
Can we do a? Can we check for any differences between the two paths, or like where it splits? Can we check if there's any sort of differences on maybe the tracks or markings on the trees?
Yeah, you see, there is going down the leftmost path. You see some scrapings and some marks. Go ahead and make a perception check.
A second.
Or actually, sorry, do an investigation check. Actually,
Okay, investigation.
same score. Okay,
You know what?
so yeah, you see some scrapings and a couple of tracks. And again, this isn't like heavy traffic. There's not tracks everywhere. It's just like you kind of pick it up and you can see like there's just like these small indents. So you see some tracks coming from the leftmost path.
Just the leftmost one.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm thinking left.
You might as well. It's all kind of obvious here. But
It's well, you think. Again, I don't want to I don't want to be the guy who's just straight up conducting this. Like I know the track, I'm the track and all, but if anybody has any ideas or if anybody thinks of anything, just jump in.
do we see any ravens above us?
Yeah. There's quite a few.
Let me try that same trick again. Let them mark our way. I might as well do it.
Okay.
Let me try the same trick of scaring the crows again.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not one.
Yeah. So you go to fire and you hit a branch, which is still enough to scare some of them, but you only see at this point like a few of them scatter, and you see at this point like most of the birds. There's probably about 30 or 40 now that have like kind of like come back since the initial, and they're like staring you down. They're following your movements. So about 3 or 4 of these ravens, they take off and go. Uh, just gotta visualize where you are here. They take off the way that you're facing because you went left, roughly in that direction. But again, like this is like very, like it's still kind of hard to see where they're going. It's like the forest has let up slightly, like where you are. It's almost like these were made paths, and then the other where the trees actually are denser. So you can see them heading off towards that direction for, I don't know, maybe 40 or 50 feet before they kind of fly out of where you can see them, like you're ducking around a tree to follow their movement.
Right, so left it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go left, you go straight. That path is probably about 50 feet or so. And at that point, you come to an area where there's like a semicircular looking, like left, it splits off again into two, left and right. On the left hand side, you see like it goes on for a while. The right hand side, it goes down for maybe like 15 feet and then hangs left and then keeps going straight. Like they both go off in either direction, both paths, and then the one on the right has a left. So, Throm, you cannot be surprised, right? Because you're like danger sense or whatever.
Dang, it gives me an advantage.
Advantage on
Does it, wait,
something.
does it really? I thought
Dexterity.
Advantage
I
on
think it's dexterity checks.
there's like
Against.
there's one that's like alert or something. I can't remember. I thought it's at level 2.
As far as I know, but
How thick are the canopies? The canopies of the trees around here?
It's still fairly thick. It let up a little bit when you kind of came into this clearing area, but mostly like it let up where these paths are.
Right. Can I quickly? Can I climb one of the trees here and sort of try getting to the top, start to clear the canopy, maybe get an idea of the landscape. So I'm not exactly looking for traps, to sort of see, like, sort of if maybe like if there's a clearing in the forest anywhere nearby, or if there's any hills or lakes or sort of any landscape in particular that nearby that I could possibly notice from there.
Okay, so you're gonna climb up the tree.
Yep.
Okay. So I mean, it takes a minute, and you climb up this tree, and even though um, it's like kind of packed trees, you look over and down and around you, and it seems to be like a circular maze. Um, and you get the gist, like you can just barely see through the trees. There's some sort of clearing in the center of this maze. And there's quite a bit, like there's quite a few paths. Like you notice, like the further in you go, at least from what you can tell, from what you can see looking around, um, that it gets like more complex the farther in you go.
Right. So I can still see I can see the general direction that this clearing is in, right?
Correct.
Can I get an idea of how far it is, maybe?
Your best guess. I mean,
Like I don't need like any crazy accurate. Like, it just sort of a general feel. Like, does it look like it's the full fucking? Does it look like it's a couple hundred feet away? Is it like relatively close by? Is it like,
yeah, I would
or
say
is it
it's,
like miles
it's probably like a couple, like just if you were to have a straightaway, it'd probably be like a couple 100 feet towards the center.
away? Okay, and the trees outside the path, that sort of the trees that are not along the path, are they still quite dense, or is it like a little sort of, or is it how it was in the beginning of the forest, like when we sort of entered it?
It in the middle, it seems as though it lightens up from what you
Okay,
can
but
see
right
from
now
the
where we
canopy.
are, okay,
Yeah,
but right now where we are, it's still quite thick.
yeah.
Oh, there goes the
And
idea of having thrown trunks in the direction.
and you can see as well, like there are still like, now that you're in the canopy, you can see there's quite a few birds still. Like he scared some of them off, but there's quite a few and they're all looking at you.
Okay, right. So, okay, I'm going to climb down then and sort of rejoin the others and sort of tell them what I saw and sort of explain the terrain as you've explained to me, like generally what I saw, so they have an idea of where we are too.
So what that
As you're hold on, as you're climbing down, or as like you're about to climb down, um, you, like the hair on the back of your neck stands up, and you feel like a talon, like on the back of your neck, like behind your ear, go trace down your neck, and a voice whisper in your ear, "Welcome, my child.
Fuck's sake. Rape alert.
Have you come to join my collection?"
How about you join my collection of people I've killed?
Ooh.
A feisty one. I like that.
Yes.
And
Rape alarm. Rape alarm. Oh god.
I will play with you some more. And as like you hear the voice start to fade back, you just hear like this cackle like that you guys have been hearing.
Do we hear the cackle as well, or?
Yeah, you guys can hear the cackle. You don't hear the whispering, because she's like whatever 100 feet in the air. Well, maybe not 100 feet, but she's higher up in the air.
I'm just gonna look around like, what? Where did that come from?
Right. Well, I'm gonna follow through with what I said in the beginning and climb down and tell them like sort of what I saw from up there, the general idea of the landscape, and see if any of them have any ideas or suggestions. Because I am worried about the maze. Like after I saw that, because I'm worried about sort of not finding this clearing because the tracks seem to be relatively consistent, and with the lack of animals, I can't really get an idea of exactly which areas to avoid.
Well, you saw the general direction of the clearing, right?
Yeah.
Can you pinpoint that direction when we're down here?
From the trees, I reckon I got an idea of where it was, so I could just sort of use that.
I mean, we might as well make a beeline for the clearing itself. And
Do you reckon we could, though, through the trees?
I mean, we might have to go like a conga line, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's very like you could do it, but it's like very thick, like bramble, thorny. Like there's trees, but there's like thick shrubbery and stuff. Like it's doable, but it would take a while to like hack your way all the way. You know what I mean?
Just eldritch blast.
By the way, how much in town, like among the guard and among the general government, how much has this incident been talked about at all, if at all? Like, does Ragnar know anything about what's going on, or is he just kind of showing up and being like, okay, supernatural shit?
Yeah, more the latter. Like you've heard like some more rumors to the point of like every now and again somebody will come up to Wallstand and like you'll hear something about it, but it's like from what everybody believes, it's just like superstition, kind of like
Okay.
folk tale.
It's like I'm gonna take a peek. I'm gonna pee real quick.
At this
Sorry.
point, yeah, nobody's taking it really seriously.
Mm.
So, as you're relaying all this, you hear like the sound of like a child, like children laughing, and from the path, like from where you came from, Throm, you see like a head of a small girl kind of peeking out. Like you can just see like the eyes and like just a slight bit of the smile.
I throw my hand at her face.
You what?
Nope. No, I'm not gonna. I said I throw my hand axe at her face, but
Yeah, let's not do that.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
Okay. I am Zabak.
What is it? Just where does it peek out from?
Like the path behind you, from
That we came from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what it is?
That child is like, hi.
Yeah.
From behind us.
Yes.
I still have a general idea of where the clearing was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that child from the general direction of the clearing, or is it like in
No,
the
it's
opposite
from
way?
where the opposite. It's like from where you came from.
Can we take a quick look to see if our marks are still intact?
Yes, you may certainly. Um, so is anybody? So you guys are going back down the path towards this child?
I mean, sure.
Well, I mean, if you're
It's the
checking
first-
where your if you're checking where your marks are, you have to like walk back down the path.
Yeah, that's a decent ways back.
No,
No,
I
we put
assume
mark-
you've been
we put-
marking the
Yeah, we
trees as
put-
you go,
we
but
do-
you're
Oh,
not
okay,
stopping every
Yeah.
5 feet and like
Yeah,
shaving
it's
the bark
mostly-
off trees every 5 feet.
It's mostly like in splits.
Also, the rune of Tur is literally basically like an arrow facing upward. So it's simple.
Yep.
So if you hear me referencing it, that's what it looks like, and that's what it is.
Mhm.
So you guys.
I'm sure Martha will be eager to take care of the child. We're in the deep woods and there's a child there.
Yeah, you have been awfully quiet, Martha.
Hmm.
I think she fell asleep.
Yeah, she took a nap. She fell asleep eating pudding or whatever she was saying earlier.
Who fell
Oh
asleep?
my god. I think Martha did.
Or is
Oh
it?
my god.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys see just like this, like creepy
Oops,
looking
sorry, I didn't mean to-
child, just like eyeballs and a little bit of the nose and mouth, like peeking out over the shrubbery and whatnot down the path that you've already come from.
Can we see any other child nearby? Or is that the only one?
Yeah. You look around, and I'm trying to remember what path you're on, but so you're at the point where you can go left or right, and on the right one you can go left. There's a path that goes left. So on the rightmost one, on the path that goes left, there's a second child doing the same kind of thing. It's just kind of like peering at you.
I think we may have been surrounded by innocent-looking meanies.
Hmm. Okay, are we still at where we're at the tree thing, or have we gone back to the place to check the mark?
At this point, nobody has said that they're actually moving anywhere.
Okay,
It's still there.
so
Perhaps we should go through the trail on the right and then take that left, because that's like
Yeah,
an interesting divergence.
yeah,
Oh
that's what
shit, I was push to talk. No wonder no one could hear me.
So Martha just sort of been
Shit!
I like
helpless.
the idea
She's-
better of you being asleep.
Just-
she was just
Not that I didn't
helplessly
want to hear you,
hanging
just
out.
I'm here.
imagining that happened.
Anyways, I was saying Martha goes over to the child.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so let's not.
I'm so sorry,
perhaps
guys.
someone should follow her.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, I'm just going to be energy at the ready in case something jumps her.
Yeah, so as Martha goes towards the child, like the head just kind of like zoom, like back around the corner, and you hear like a skittering and a child's laughter.
Don't
Creepy.
don't follow them, Martha. Don't follow them.
Oh,
What
wait,
are for kids? They're probably scared and they
question for
I
DM.
haven't
Question
told
for
I haven't
DM.
told any of you this yet because I didn't feel it was relevant. But I had a dream the previous night with this old hag, and just now the old hag whispered to me, and she seems to be quite interested in playing around with us. I feel this is one of her tricks, and she's trying to lead us away from her. Let's ignore them. I have a feeling that if we chase after them, we're not going to be finding our way out of here anytime soon.
Quick question: is the child that just ran away and the second child that we saw male?
No.
We don't follow them because
She said-
remember we
she
heard in the
says
village that all the girls came back.
Dylan,
Yes.
growing up in the capital city, where it's more common than in most places, would Ragnar know like a little bit about magic? Like, would he at least know what spells look like and have some knowledge?
Probably not intimate knowledge of spells, like you know that like
Yeah,
magic is
he
a thing.
can't.
You could
He can't
probably
cast
identify,
spells.
like if somebody was casting a spell in front of you, you could identify that they're casting a spell. Besides that, that's probably like the extent of
Okay.
like you if somebody's making like certain styles of gestures or
So
like certain words, or like certain like mannerisms, like semantics of spells, whatever, and gestures, you would understand that behavior if you saw it.
could I assume that these children are illusions? Would I possibly think that in character?
If you like, of course you can think it in
That
character, but there's no way.
that they're not physical.
You could if you have that idea, like I believe these are illusions.
If I were to say that, would that be breaking at all?
No, like
Okay.
if that's what if you as a player, if you think that is legit, that's perfectly fine to think,
Mhm.
but it's not like you're gonna be like, your character would be like, that's an illusion, you know. They wouldn't know for
Well, that's what I'm
certain.
asking.
They wouldn't know for certain.
But
You could be like,
I'm saying like
I
assuming.
think they're illusions. Like you could say like, I think they're illusions, or I mean, really, you can say whatever you want.
Okay.
I'm just saying,
So,
like,
so
you can't tell for certain. You might have the gut feel that they're illusions, but you're not.
so
Like,
so
oh, yeah, that's...
Ragnar pointed out that they might not be real.
Well, we
Martha
kinda
sort of
figured.
deflates at that, but oh jeez.
Well, kind of
Okay.
figure, considering that they're all, girls.
Well,
and not-
obviously.
Right, so
And
we're
the-
still gonna right. So then we're gonna be taking the right. Well, I mean, there's always the thing that they could be one of them taking over kids behind, as Nick said, the girls return.
Most of the girls return, so
Well,
all of them
well,
actually.
okay, so let's continue along the right path that turns left.
Where we saw the second child.
No, like was that one? Like we saw that there was a path that
No,
turned right.
the right path that turns left did not have a child on it.
Yeah, that's the one I'm saying.
Okay.
Don't confuse me like that, Nick.
So are you going down the one that has a child or no? And what is Martha doing?
No.
Is she listening, or is she?
She hesitates, but she listens to the others.
Okay.
Better.
So you're going down the left path?
The right. You said that there's a path that goes right and then diverges to the left.
Correct, and that's where one of the.
That's where. Oh,
Right. The one that veers right,
interesting.
where that left turn is that you're talking about going, that's where
Mhm.
one of them is peering at you.
Okay.
And then from behind you, from where you came from, another one is peering at you.
But
So-
there isn't one at the
So
left
the
turn.
so the left trail does not have one.
Correct.
Maybe we should do that then.
Well, whichever way is good.
No, there's also reverse psychology there.
She could be trying to trick us away, or
That's
she
kind
could
of what I'm
be
saying. There
nice.
could also be reverse psychology, so therefore the only one without a child could therefore be the trap.
I think she's playing with us. She wants us to find her. She just does not want us to find her so soon.
She is a fae. I mean, I could try and see if my patron could help.
I mean, that took like how many hours last time? I don't think we had the.
Yeah, but last time we're actually in the force.
Yeah, but I
That's
don't think we have the
all.
luxury this time, though.
Well,
Also, like pretty much anytime there's a decision going on, Tur is grasping his runestone necklace and just kind of like trying to get some guidance. But he's not a paladin or anything, so it's more like just like a prayer to Tur.
what could possibly go wrong if we follow the path of the child? Let's go.
Sure. So we're still committed to going right and left. The right one that turns left.
Yeah, whichever one leads us there.
So as you guys are debating this, you see like near the ground floor, you see like on the path that goes right with the left, where there's one poking out, you see like some fingers kind of like creep out, and then pull forward. You see another face, just the eyeballs. So there's two now at the rightmost path to the left.
Interesting.
Guys,
I
I
have a
think we should hurry up and make a decision.
I have a question. Why do we take the pass? Why don't we just go through?
If you are willing to clear a path for us, go right ahead.
Yeah,
Sure, if
like,
you're willing.
like I said, it's not that you couldn't do it. It would just take a long time because it's like really thick shrubbery, really thick.
Leah,
dense
point him in a
forest.
direction and let him go.
Yeah, let me just start chopping down these woods with my trident.
Oh,
I'm
just
just
pick
gonna-
a path.
Shrug his shoulders and just head in whatever direction Leia was originally pointing.
Pointing
Title
again.
and
It's like,
he just
"Ugh."
starts destroying just shrubbery and working its way through. If any of you magic users know fire, it would help. But if not, Thrum will go through.
At this, I'm just going to start throwing other blasts in the same direction. Nah, that's technically not fire.
I wouldn't recommend fire, as we could get a wildfire spreading here. And as much as I think that would possibly help us in finding the hag, I also think it would basically
Anger.
it would fuck with the villagers, because it could also possibly burn their crops, and that could possibly spread to their actual homes as well.
Not to mention, my patron would be very unhappy that her forest is being burned.
I mean,
And also
you know,
my character as a character is quite attached to the forest, so burning one down isn't
So-
exactly one of my.
We're just gonna
we could
force away.
we could kill some scarecrows and finish this with fire, but we could also kill all of the villagers. So
Yeah. So Throm is just going ham, and you're just trying to like cut a path. You cut a path for like not but 2 seconds, and you hear the like the children, and they just scream out at you, just like horrible, like high pitched, just like wails, and they just start screaming at you. Go away! No, go away! Go away! And as you're just like trying to, as best you can, to haul ass through this shrubbery, they just stop. Like they're like, "Go away, go up!" And then it's just quiet except for Throm. And you hear from either side of those two semicircular paths just a light. And I would like you all to roll initiative, as around the corners you see two about 8 foot tall scarecrows charging towards you.
Well!
Initiative.
Oh wait, we don't have tokens yet, so there's no point doing it right now.
oh well.
How did I
Yeah, it's
get
okay.
a 0.1?
It adds your dexterity. It's to do tiebreakers, so if two characters roll a 3.
Don't do it yet. We don't have tokens yet.
Oh fuck! I'm still gonna do it.
I can't remember how to roll initiative.
You just click on your initiative thing.
Yeah.
But we need to have the tokens up first.
Yeah.
So
Don't worry about it
Yeah,
for right
so
now.
we're
I'm moving us all.
So what have we done today? We've argued about which path to take multiple times.
We've broken out of a funeral church.
And we are currently trying to force our way towards a clearing.
I prayed.
And
We.
we have 2 scarecrows.
Ragnar also prayed.
Just played her little game, and you know.
Well, clearly we're cheating, because she is not happy right now.
I mean, that's one of the
Martha
reasons
is
why I
just exhausted at this point. She's got those dark bags under her eyes. She's just looking at the other boys like, you gotta be fucking kidding
And
me.
this is probably the most activity Ragnar has seen in a decent while.
I mean, like this is kind of what I wanted to happen. Like I wanted to upset the hag, because then she would possibly do this. But I figured, okay,
So-
for one, average with the clearing, and if we set the whole thing on fire, we could have been caught up in the crossfire. So I was trying to think of ways to do that. But well, looks like Tom
We
did it for
should
me.
have taken the fucking path.
Is the
Yes,
path
please.
supposed to look like a raven?
It's in my turn tracker.
Should we roll
it's
our
just a
initiative now?
coincidence. Yeah. So hold on just a second. You guys can click on your tiles. Put yourselves where you would be. So Throm was like.
What's Thromer?
The reason the path
he's
is
there.
not flat is because Throm is like he's already moved in a couple of feet. He's just like ripping into
Fuck
the
it.
You need a
shrubbery.
real penis drawing.
Yeah,
I'm just like here.
I'd be sort of near the edge there because I was just kind of between like felt like, and I think like Frog was gonna start cutting like relatively close to where I was, so I'm just gonna be sort of a little out. But,
Is there a reason my icon isn't up there?
You're dead to us.
And I'll probably be.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
do we have the turn tracker now?
Wait, actually, From is at the literal front, so.
Wow, a natural
Wow,
one.
Leah. And I thought Martha was.
Whoa!
Wait, are
Oh.
we re-rolling?
Yeah, because we're
Yeah,
we're
do
on
it
the
from
token board now.
Yeah, do it from the token.
Oh, okay.
No.
Actually, how do I do
Out of
that?
17 before, fuck off.
Literally the same
Mm.
row.
Which one's the? How do I roll it from the token?
Click your
Click on the
token and then.
hit initiative after.
Yeah, like you
I
click on
love your
token and then use
character
your
art,
character sheet.
friend. It looks wonderful.
There is no.
Yeah.
I can't tell. None of them come up with any text, so there's
That's
just a bunch of
right.
numbers above them.
This is why I don't. You guys transferred in. Yeah, I'll fix it later. It's because you guys didn't use my template that I have for character sheets because you imported it, so you don't have any of my macros. I'm gonna have to add them to yours after, which kind of blows.
Okay. You want me just to roll it normally for now?
Yeah, it's just I think you guys already rolled it, so we'll just take whatever's in there.
I didn't.
Yeah, Quincy didn't roll yet.
Oh,
Nice!
Quincy, go!
Natural 20.
So the person with good initiative gets a bloody natural 1. The person with 0 initiative gets a natural 20. Wow.
As the dice.
I literally wrote the same exact.
Our hero.
Martha, you need to roll your initiative
Second,
as
you
well.
assholes.
I thought I did.
It's
Well,
on the turn order.
I mean, I get to disengage.
I got 3.1.
Yeah, but you
Alright.
roll it again from the token.
Oh, the
If you
token.
want.
I keep forgetting that's a thing.
5. Wow.
Hey, you got a better one. You got 2 points.
Oh, goody.
Yeah,
Fun.
I hate having low initiative as a character that's based on speed and dexterity.
So the tanks
Well-
are going first.
So how did am I the only one that doesn't have a one that works
Nice.
normally?
No.
Yes, because you're dealing. Oh wait.
Ragnar, I didn't think that yours did, but maybe it does. Oh, because
I think I don't know. I don't know.
I think you might have taken
Honestly.
one from my template, like when you
I think so.
imported, and then you. No, I don't see the buttons for you either. You don't have macro buttons.
I don't know.
So, all right, no problem.
I love how there's all that pretty art, then there's just Martha. Cartoony as ever.
All right, sorry this is taking so long. Like I said, that's why I set up all the macros. So
We're literally starting initiative at the end of our session.
I know.
Yeah.
That's fine. That we sort of have something to. I mean, we could just sort of get the battle positions going and then roll for initiative next time, or
Well, we already did initiative, so.
yeah, I was just saying we could have done that.
We might as well finish this battle then.
Yeah.
The last time we fought a scarecrow took like half an hour with 2 scarecrows. But we'll see. We have 2 proper.
We had
tanks.
level 2 this time, so.
We have proper tanks this time, and hopefully, and I have disengaged, so I shouldn't get feared and be useless the whole battle.
Oh shit. 13 and 19. Wow. Those characters are fast.
I like how the character that's whose lore is
All right.
based on speed and everything. Like, the character who's supposed to be the fastest has the lowest initiative.
It's like.
No reaction at all.
Okay.
So for some
So,
reason, I
Ragnar.
can't change your name.
Okay. So wait, wouldn't Ryan technically? Oh wait, I guess natural 20 still stands as a regular 20. Okay.
No. Ryan would go first.
Okay, good.
'Cause it
Because
wasn't
I would be a little useless. I mean, I could absorb damage.
Oh shit. Quincy's only good in one fucking direction to block the race. Are we just gonna continue this next time, or are we gonna like play it out for the next 5 minutes?
No, I'm good. Yeah, we should probably get to bed soon. So, do you guys just want to pick up next week, and where we have initiative rolled, I will set up the tokens and whatever bullshit to make sure everybody's like good. It doesn't matter now because we already rolled it. It will keep our initiative order, and we'll pick up next time as the scarecrows are charging at you.
Sure.
And we'll do the battle.
Yeah, I suppose.
Does that?
Okay,
Sure. It'll give us something to like dive into. Like, whoa, something to battle. Wow. Next one is it just throws us into the middle of battle. Ah.
All right.
I like how I'm in like the middle of everyone.
Do you guys like the tunes in the background?
I have
Yeah.
my own music going, so I can't say.
I didn't watch anything, so I don't know.
Oh, you guys should have been able to hear it from the Roll20, unless you turned it
Yeah.
off.
Same.
Oh, I turned it off in Roll20.
I turned my own off because I just have my own sort of music going. So
Oh, I turned it off.
All
'Cause I
right.
had music playing in the background.
No problemo. All right, guys. Well, it was fun, and hopefully,
Oh, yeah,
next week we're gonna
this
dive
session
right
was
into
fun.
some action.
This week I finally got to use Leah's strengths for tracking and all of the forest. Hey,
And I'm just here like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's this fun with this like Rom sort of mindless charge, like he's just brute hit.
and apparently I was muted half the time.
Leah's like tracking it, like, and the fucking the rape wind, as I'm gonna call the hag. It is literally like a fucking rape whisper. Hi. Hi.
you know.
Fuck you. Voice acting's fun.
And then there's me at the church, just like, sorry.
Hashtag not sorry.
That's probably gonna cost like 10 gold or something just to watch.
Right, and I have some in this one session giving me like 3 different scenes to draw if I want to draw them. The church breakaway scene, which I found hilarious. So just that picture of like Eldrin like screaming story, me laughing my tits off, Martha sort of looking nervous like, and then